Fortunately, I'm in a position where I can talk over Jeremy and not, be rude. So, I talk over him often enough. Must hate me for it. So, EDPA versus SAN, Satan, because I know edgy bloody names. Yeah. It works though. To be fair, it grabs people's attention. It does make you seem like a bad guy though, right? Bit on the nose, like, we're bad. But, do you think I should turn up the video audio a little bit more? Or do you think we're me just talking to myself against almost nothing going on? I'll have to find the right balance. Hmm? Oh, hey, Chirix. So yes, going back over the VOD. For now, I'll turn it up a bit more so we can hear more of
has a plan. Otherwise, they wouldn't have. What
our
was
man
the last
Jeremy.
map down to? Was between Sunday Mall and downtown, is it?
But I'm going to be
Right.
really
I mean,
heavily
they could have
focused
gone
on
for
how bad I
Sunday
do
is
while trying to
usually,
see what I
one of their better
was
maps,
not
but
aware
again,
of at the time.
I know that some of them has faced the Swedish team in the previous tournament, and some of the maps might not favor them. So downtown could be a new change to this. So let's see how they will fare up in this. Piki, what is your prediction in terms of action?
So infections in divisions.
Division, sorry, division.
I think difficult to say. Like H-Bomb is maybe going.
See, Picky, you can't predict if you take that long to think.
No, for F3, I mean, he's of course. Stealth. Okay.
Yeah.
There goes that prediction. Okay, yeah. I was thinking energy, but.
So stealth pick is quite dangerous, especially at this level.
Say actually.
Because stealth doesn't give you much real late game power. You're relying on the stealth gimmick.
Inventory, but I'm hoping to see armor. So armor is a very
Phantom Army and Mines are very powerful. Don't get me wrong. But again, the more potent and able the enemy officers are, the less effective the kit is. Especially Phantom Drones. Phantom Drones are obscenely overpowered against uninitiated officers and render the enemy commander almost completely redundant.
They will definitely.
But against experienced teams that shut them down quickly,
well,
they're just wasting resources.
You will definitely have a strategy as well. I think it seems that they took some time to think of it. It's probably a very difficult
We're going to
choice.
turn them down a little bit. So, infantry was recently buffed. So the bonus that Marines and Elite Marines get from the armor packages was doubled from 15% to 30%. Damage reduction from bullet damage. Keep in mind that's going to affect LMGs, SMGs, rifles. It's going to affect a lot of the general purpose vehicle weapons, such as from the crawler. So it massively improves the durability of Marines and Elite Marines to the point where they're equivalent in durability to an officer, if not more so. So
there will be a very strong officer engagement. We will be expecting to see very tough fight, probably B as well.
Thunder's team here, what, the EDPA or something weird like that. It should have just been called Thunder Force. Let's be honest, right? EDPA.
So I actually think that I would want to say like my old team. I think like
that was weird.
Like they will win.
Oh,
but I cannot say that. Like Satan is so
that's
strong.
interesting.
Like the EH is
so EDPA going for an all-in on B while also being able to hit C. So they're going for the closer points. B and C are close by. They can then also hit the GSF natural power. Two of them catch China in out of position here, or a Venom, and Eagle isn't in a position to actually help him before that. So you basically have a series of what I'd almost call 3v1s, allowing them to take B. Me, in the meantime, I am all the way over near A, killing the starter squads that H-Bomb is commanding. Yeah, losing 3 officers at the beginning. Pretty bad start, but not the end of the world. Yeah, all I've been doing is engaging these guys, trying to see what's going on. the reason for this, why are you all the way over here? Why aren't you in the mid helping your team? That would be the logic if I were in the right ballpark for FPS skill. I do not bring enough FPS power to the board. Yeah, it's like Thunder's going to come down here. The benefit of this, I'm all the way down here, just being a distraction. Thunder's out of position right now. Meanwhile, my team is now re-engaging in mid. And now they've got 3-on-1 on Hunter. Now Dozer goes down. So, because Thunder's out of position, his team gets caught out in mid. So yeah, Anchor's down. So 2 are down so far, 3 are down. Now, it's dangerous for Thunder to come into this engagement, because it's still 2v1. So me being all the way off on a flank, being, quite frankly, bloody useless, was enough to draw someone as valuable as Thunder out of position. Which is my logic. Doesn't change the fact that I'm a bit shit. I have no idea why Thunder came all the way over there for that. But hey, it worked out in our favour. I'll take it.
Unfortunately, they've ticked down their points to 456. They're still at 500. They're still doing really, really strong. Economy side 52 to 86, favoring Exeron's side 36 to 20.
See, rolling back on this, yeah, there was no reason for Thunder to rotate over to A. Thunder and his entire team should have rotated to C and then seen if they could harass our power point. There was no reason to go up towards A at all. And there was no reason to split up.
This is like a place for them to. They're focusing their strength here, right? And it's a very good play. I think more teams should be doing this instead of.
No, that's not quite right. It's not focusing the strength. The commander has a limited pool of resources to work with. You need to make sure your armories are safe. That you're going to put them down and get value from them. And putting them down with your officers, where the majority of them are, is where you're going to get that value.
The spirit of big performance.
Big performance, best team logo from Reconator. Yes, I appreciate it. It's
Frozen Fire would be Jeremy. The Magic Man himself. Oh, welcome. Hey, Jeremy. You're always welcome.
Delta is now going straight for B. He's moving in alone.
So,
There's 3 of them there. It's going to be 3v1. Nobody has no support.
I don't like this engagement. They're underneath Thunder. They've not got terrain to work with. They don't have support to work with.
Oh, Anchor down.
Anchor is coming in. He has a bunch of scouts with him. They are not timing the play.
And again, all this is going on, I'm just over on A, like, just being a pest.
Delta going down.
MRPG cluster doing damage. Yeah, they're going to be a... Oh, misplay by Dozer. But, no, pays off because Commander support comes in, clears up the entire team. Yeah.
No, nobody fell. Nobody fell.
So again, it's another 4v3 in mid, which, let's be quite frank, is my doing. That armory is at risk. If they don't kill that armory, that's a massive misplay by EDPA.
They are like the first engagement won by EDPA, second engagement by Satan.
So the only thing I really achieved still being over at A is that it caused H-Bomb to redirect his scout reinforcements. Instead of keep funneling them to B, they're going over to A. Now they're doing the right move. They are cycling through C and capping all of our core resources. This is really what they should have done at the start. The fact that they failed to take advantage of that huge edge they got is massive misplay. But getting on that now. Thunder again coming all the way over to deal with me. Like, it's not an important flank. H-Bomb's got a lot of resources invested over there anyway with all the scouts there. Why is he chasing me?
They need to split up indeed, but at the same time they can split up, but then you have to...
Just, he needs to be with his team.
So it's trying to see what to do. I think that they really need
I mean, it's entirely possible it's over sort of confidence on his part. It's like, we won mid, I can just go off and hunt down Fossil and get the kill.
A lot of scouts there, a lot of scouts.
Right, here we go. This is really the power of Phantom Drone. All those units are now invisible. If Orangepest was to throw a load of Marines in there, the Marines would do nothing. They would just get shot in the face.
As an enemy officer, this is what you see. You don't see anything. As you go nearer, these units will start to appear, but long before that, they will start firing at you, right?
So essentially, it allows you those one way. Yeah. I go in to see what's going on, immediately get downed by those scouts because there's so many of them. Instant death. Thing is, I am an experienced player. I understand that there was a blob of scouts there, and that's what killed me. I understand there's a phantom drone there. So when I go back, I know what I'm dealing with. I know how I want to deal damage to it. Meanwhile, in mid, Phantom Army comes down, which distracts the Marines, but it's not enough to actually save the officers. Yeah, so they'd already picked targets. The Phantom Armies come down too late to actually have an impact there. And now Anchor's
Just staying too long, he should have booked it out at the same time.
taken down by Delta.
It's... yeah.
Delta, I believe, is Muggis. Am I correct here?
What? Already?
Sigma Rush.
All those
On this
scouts
map,
from A1.
against GSF, this
All
is
those scouts...
definitely the right play.
This is just like...
It's just not the right play against infantry.
if they bring out any IV to the middle, it's just...
Yeah, I think it's more like an insurance, like you will definitely never get
Again, I think this was part of Orangepest's plan here, is like, if we roll infantry, we're avoiding being obvious. Because again, M33s are so powerful, have such impact, are able to control so much of the field by sheer brute force.
They're just like saying, you're not going to get any vehicles out.
Axron needs to get a Sigma. Axron needs to have a Sigma available. And he's going for 2. Right? He's seen nothing to indicate armor yet. Which, to be fair, you wouldn't see until late. Really, you're looking out for any reads on infantry or fortification. Fortification read is high health on armories. And the read on infantry would be seeing a QRF drop. Again, really good use of the EMP grenades to strip shields. Able to play it safe, stay far back, and they're also good for dealing with vehicles.
Oh, second EP grenade going out.
Now, MRPGs. Yeah, the combination of MRPGs and the EMP grenades is really strong because it allows them to get a lot of damage on target without really exposing themselves. Which has forced GSF back to mid to go and resupply, gather themselves. The issue is really that MRPG is entirely random. Unless you bounce them off of a wall, the scatter is almost completely random. So it's very difficult to get hits on target. As you can see, look how close that's hitting, and it's not actually doing any damage. All of this damage is coming in from a flank to the south there.
Oh, the shockwave as well. This is so painful. Those gets taken down though.
Nobody gets too far. Just harassment.
Yeah, the key issue you have with taking that MRPG shockwave combo is your mid-range DPS is quite low. So you're actually at serious risk of engagements at mid-range where you can't get the MRP shots on target. So, again, when that push came in... Why are you buffering, man? Okay, we're back. Allowed them to completely overwhelm the position.
I guess they could be trying to go for like 100% scout. So if you bring any form of machinery, the Sigma is going to take you out.
So the Scout Rush.
It
It is less potent now, following the buff to Marines, but Scout Rush has been an absolute staple of Axeron since release. Because of their better awareness, they have a longer engagement range. They're much more reliable engaging officers and actively engaging in fights. The cost being that they're lower health and lower DPS, but firing first is king.
Gives enough time to get the scouts. I see a Congo line of scouts going to
The thing you may have noticed though, is you've not seen anything of me all game. I have not done exactly. All I've done is be a pest. Just be like, hey, does anyone want to come over to this worthless flank and spend time with me? Meanwhile, Orangepest immediately sends in a QRF and does some legit damage, right? Points to it.
Oh, you have an engagement on B. Engagement on B.
Another good fight on B. And again, massive props to my teammates here, right? So Muggis, Lakrits, and freaking China in here, doing a 3v4 and winning them. Like,
Satan just taking out 3 players.
Also the
without
ace.
taking a
Ace.
single
Oof.
Oh, fourth player. He's yeah.
Oh, that is an interesting strike from there. He just jumped out from it.
So the reason we're running ace so much
Oh,
is because you have 3 key attributes on the ace. You have mobility. So you've got straight up a double jump to get around with, which increases your mobility. It even works if you've been injured. When you lose your shields and you take health damage, you cannot sprint. The jump gets around that.
Now they're taking back
Which means that there are situations where you would never be able to escape. Ace can get away.
Taking the mid game.
Taking that a step further, you have that assault jump. That assault jump is not only, as a matter of fact, it is better for escaping than it is for attacking a player. Allowing you to quickly zip over a wall and get some distance, which you otherwise wouldn't be able to do.
I don't know. Sonic should that
And
counter to the massive infantry?
I think the Omicron. I mean, it's a good choice versus infantry, but it's not a power. Oops, excuse me. It's not a powerful option. But yeah, going back to the ace suit. Finally, is you've got the ace drones. Ace drones will draw fire for you. They will do damage, and they are scouts. They will actually spot enemies for you.
You force them to bring certain weapons, but they lose a slot or two. It makes a lot of difference, and also you have to switch.
Oh, go ahead, Jeremy. I'm very interested. Oh, right, you're saying interesting thoughts on the ace drones. Yes. So yeah, mobility, survivability, and then having the scouting and damage off the drones it just makes it a very strong all-round battle suit. And it doesn't feel like there's a downside. You don't feel that you're missing out on anything by doing that.
They're not going for any fancy play. There's no exploit. There's nothing, and it's just trying to down all of the enemy. This, however, will fall short when you have all this kind of massive army pushing together.
So again, all I'm doing over this far flank is annoying H-bomb. Was this a misplay? Again, I was worried they were going to advance on me, and I thought maybe I'd be able to get some pot shots in. I only do 1 clip of that, and then I give up on it. But
Commander has to be aware though, because if he puts down a single scan, he could definitely detect.
Again, I'm just being a harassment. I'm keeping H-bomb looking at the other side of the map rather than focusing on hunting down my allies and supporting his. Am I practically doing that all that much? No. But honestly, it's probably the most useful thing I could be doing.
Eagle taking shots, not doing a lot of damage, but still enough to disrupt him.
I feel like what they could do with Sigma, since they already have the Sigma, they could move the Sigma here and start poking at the turrets.
I would disagree with that. I think if H-bomb tried to push a Sigma down there, because I am always present down there, it's just putting it at risk. Sigmas are far too fragile to risk like that. You need to keep them behind your lines. You can't use it as a frontline tank. I mean, you've got to consider this. Axron vehicles get half of their HP from a 50% bonus to their HP getting to level 3 vehicle upgrades. So an Omicron goes from having 6k HP to having 9k HP from no vehicle upgrades to full up vehicle upgrades. The thing is, GSF is getting the same amount of HP from its vehicle upgrades, but starts at a far higher bottom line.
We've seen EMP coming down on the engagement with B. Big zap right now.
I mean, consider it. Omicron clearly needs that 9k HP pool, but does a Hellspawn or a M33 need to go from 10k to 13k?
Sneaky Venom is behind, trying to kill them. Those got taken down by the Ace drone.
Oh, I understand that, but like, not all things are created equal. It's within the context. Does a 10k HP vehicle really need to have 13k to be effective? Versus does a 6k HP vehicle really need 9k? And the effective difference is huge.
Axron is basically now trying to clean up the middle.
And even on GSF, you can see the impact of this.
They will be building forces back up.
They will be getting C
No, so think about it more like this. So H1 goes to move up his Sigma, right? So he moves it up to that position, and then I'm able to threaten it. Suddenly, he needs to rotate officers over to support his Sigma, which I'm harassing. Now, that's not to make an offensive move, that's a defensive one. Hey guys, I need someone to come and save the Sigma.
Yeah, just
Because there's no way that Sigma is going to be able to look after itself.
That's just crazy.
You're giving your officers something else to worry about. It's better to keep the Sigma far back, as safe as possible, and allow it to support your officers than force your officers to come and support it.
Yeah, well, having the area, that's a pretty big word, because there's a next engagement happening around B. Thunder, Dozer, Hunter, Eagle, now Castle B.
You think about it this, so if I were to drive this Sonic straight to Venom, what is Venom going to do? He cannot hack, you know? All you have is like an LMG.
In that particular question, what's Venom going to do? Venom's going to jump away. He'll just escape. So immediately, the Sigma's now had to use the shield to survive coming around this corner. It is on the back foot, just having pushed up.
Venom taking hits.
And all of this is H-Bomb just trying to get value from his Sigmas. He wants to push with them and have as much impact as he can. All they're doing now, though, is they're aiming at 2 engineers. There's nothing else along that line to shoot at. Really, he wants to push it into the power and do some damage there, but that's an even more dangerous position to look at going into. I'm surprised the Lancer came out in this game. But again, it gives some mobile AT firepower. It's probably there more for engaging the Omicron Sonic. Stealth drone seems like a great move. Yeah, this should be a win. Problem is, there's a lot of firepower coming back. Omicron Sonic goes down. 100 Dozer are not in the best positions. Phantom Army is definitely doing a lot of work here, but they're not going to be able to hold their position there. The Sigma can't support them effectively.
Yeah, so this is like very dangerous when it's like the scouts.
I mean, again, it's the way I originally reacted to the Sigma, is that you've gone and made an open field tank destroyer, and you put it into urban combat. It is never going to be good at it. You get niche situations where it is dominant, but then outside of that, it's just not worth it. It's a liability. Oh, I fully agree, Orange. You really mind-gamed him. And I think it also made him doubt what they could predict coming from us in the games to follow. So...
Yeah, they need to get rid of the Sigmas, as painful as to say.
Again, you look at how little... There's a Sigma there. Why isn't it turning to fight the Marines? It's just there, waiting to die. It lacks the versatility to act in that fashion. I mean,
that's okay, but they have one Sigma too many.
it might be just it needs an AI rework to make it a bit more feasible, but it's just not reliable unless you lock it in one safe position. So this Sigma doesn't have a chance in hell, dies. You would see that situation play out exactly the same if it was being pushed on the other side. Again, with the amount of bank they've got, you are right. Getting the Sigma out of your pop cap pool is beneficial. But again, it's... is that a fairly unaccepted part of the meta, though? There are definitely times where you have far more resources than you have pop cap to work with. That's just rude, Omicron Sonic. It's just rude.
Yeah, so the question is, what do you do?
Sigma just hit this point defense.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, good.
Snap the point defense up.
Thunder getting... Oh, Eagle getting hit.
That's something I need to test at some point. I need to see how much impact the offensive module has on the Omicron Sonic's projectile, how much it increases its potency.
Whoa, Thunder just depleting the shield.
I realise it does nothing versus structures and whatnot, but having it wipe infantry very quickly would be very useful. Good slam, but not enough. Yeah, he's in a bad position. 2v1 is always going to be a pretty bad disadvantage.
Oh, just a little bit too late to back up. Fake scouts, real scouts, who knows?
So, again, all I've really been doing in this game is kind of dicking about over at A here, and then poking in at B to kind of hit the flanks, which is why that Omicron just went down.
Oh, again, like in 3-4-3.
But again, I'm pretty sure Orange already had a Phalanx crew on it. So, I presume the way they're running this is not everyone has an MRPG shockwave. It is that some have MRPGs, some have shockwaves, and then they support each other. That seems to be more Toast style.
It's a very strong push. 4 of them are here. I don't think Anchor and Hunter is capable to do that. Hunter, however, has joined the fight.
But again, retreating from that position is... I do not know how they got Delta, but nice shot. But yeah, retreating from that position, because we've got that balcony to work. Very good EMP.
They have 4 of them are still alive and they just bioinjected each other up. Oh,
Yeah, but still not enough.
Yeah.
Whole team gets wiped. At this point in the game, a team wipe is huge. Because while the commander can restore one person to having a battle suit, and then they can go back out fully armed, it's only one.
That is costly.
Yeah, that's costly, but they do have the economy.
I think at this point they would. But I think at this point they shouldn't rebuild power.
So the idea of getting that Sonic first is you're expecting the M33, and you might say, oh well, you know, my Sonic will be able to overwhelm that and just shut it down, and then my team can go in and clear it. Problem is, most of the time, if Orange were to get an M33, he wouldn't be putting it anywhere your Sonic could get near it until it's got the APDS. Once it's got the APDS, your Sonic can't really overwhelm it. So you'd want to have the Sigma. And to get the Sigma, you need mechanized first. So you're saying, I can't really get the Sonic now, I need to get up to my Sigma so I'm ready for the M33 rush.
Just flinging grenade launchers at them. Yeah, this is just Orangepest showing its commanding superiority here.
Yeah,
Building up towards an advantage.
I think this will be the big thing meta-wise going forward, is getting more battle comms. People who know when there is value in them staying in command view and when there is more value in them being out there in the fight. I feel like probably every fight that Orange went out and participated in, he went out and supported his team. He made a difference between a victory and defeat there. His extra firepower, his extra involvement allowed a fight to be taken. And he's making up for the fact that my FPS is weak.
Ooh, I don't like what Dozer is doing right now. Like,
Dozer is now trying to steal their supplies.
So
They need to steal the supplies because they have 0 supplies. They have all 3 supplies
again, like,
on Team Jayton's side. And
that is probably the crucial thing any commander can do, is find ways of being more involved in the fight and turning it into being able to create 5v4 situations.
Regain A, control B, but it's so difficult to lose.
Yeah. So this is where this becomes a real struggle for Axeron, being pushed off B. They've got to come down this long corridor, and there's no real leeway for you to shift up. I'd say there should be a set of stairs around here somewhere to come up and down between here. I know there's a set of boxes, but that's no way for AI to get up and down. Big reinforcements coming in now.
For the first time I see it from the perspective of the Vito dropping in reinforcements. I was wondering where the hell am I? Last said Lakrits is a noob. I believe he is Lakrits supporter. That's how you know you're someone's supporter.
So in my mind, EDPA at this point should... They've already got Thunder on A. Fighting for B, which clearly has a lot of stuff on it already, is a waste. So I would be getting people to rotate around and try and hit C. As a commander, I'd probably drop a recon drone down there to get some idea what's there, what you're running into. But you've got to keep in mind, on that far side, there's where that munitions point is, there's a little walkway to get under and get around the back. And then you can get up to a high position and actually start harassing that area. There's no reason to invest this heavily in B. I don't think it's worth it. I would have these Iron Guards coming down where Hunter is right now to help Hunter push through Venom. The Iron Guards would then stay at the stairs there, while my officers push down to C to try and... So basically the Iron Guards covering their flank, the officers can hit C and try and go for an AC cap.
It's now dropping. But, oh, the APC.
But again, instead they all in B, and it's just a matter of trying to keep officers or any caps off. There's a set of mines there, like, it's just everything against them. Do they get it? No, not enough. Oh, managed to hold it. Managed to hold it at 2 points. That was stupid close. Is it enough though?
What is Sigma doing here? Sigma is trying to kill the APC.
It's a good actually.
This is how impractical Sigmas are and corners. Okay, it's bad. What do you mean this is where I save? Oh right, sneaking in on A. I think. Pretty sure that's what I did. But yeah, the boost in power from the tier 3 reinforcements really coming in. Although, still being sub 200 for pop cap, yeah, a lot of forces lost in that push.
See what's gonna happen here. Delta is playing that smoke thing that Baby Ben's team is so good at. He's doing the incendiary shotgun. Who is Anchor? Heavy.
Points on breaking that, but I still feel like they could have pushed in on C. Pushed in on C, broken that, locked it down.
That is correct.
And then also hit economy. Because right now they're only on... Yeah, EDPA are only on the victory points.
Yeah, I need to take a screenshot of that.
Their economies are complete shambles.
Venom is now going for B.
I mean, I said... No, it is a complete shambles. They have none of the munitions points. Oh, the smoke spam. That's disgusting. Scarab Mine deserved a nerf, and it's still strong. Holy moly. Good push, a lot of damage done, but not enough. Yeah, there's still a whole set of 4. So yeah, there's no pushing that right now. Artillery strike? Oh yeah. Oof. GSF, 20k of munitions? Oof. Artillery for days.
I think they need to like stealth drone on top of B.
Yeah, they need to stealth.
They cannot afford it. They cannot afford it. The hurt of supplies hurts them. Like
yeah.
The lack of supplies hurts them so bad.
Yeah, if they lose this, it's over already.
You've got to keep in mind, having those munition points all be under GSF right now is not only hurting the commander's ability to call in special abilities, but it's also ruining the officer's income. Because each of those points is worth +7 a sec, like per tick. Again, orange saving my ass.
Yeah, this is it. This is over.
And that's going to be game.
Fossil might have sealed their fate over here. He's just surviving with a little bit of hit point, 240 hit point. This is it. He got taken over as well. GG. First round goes to Team Satan. Goes 207-0. Very, very close fight.
Again, it's important to keep in mind, so supplies is affecting all of your call-ins. It's, in the case of GSF, it's also affecting some of your upgrades, so reactive armor, the mini turrets all come from that, your scans, all of that stuff is coming from your supplies. You then also look at Axeron, and it's a case of, well, now you can't call in the Iron Guard drops, now you can't call in your recon and phantom drones. And then it's, as I say, it's also hitting your officers. Those 3 points being held by GSF, that's plus 21 weapon credits baseline. So every time you respawn, you're getting plus 21 straight away from just those munitions points. It's huge. And you look at the base income, you only get +2 when you got none. That's crippling. Absolutely crippling.
Yeah, true. Oh, they were one down.
So yeah. So for me, it's well played by EDPA. Like, they put in a damn good effort. It's just, like I say, Orangepest outplayed them just in the mind games department, convincing EDPA that they're definitely going for the M33. M33 is the best pick for this map. They're definitely going to do that. And then it being definitely not that. But then, again, Orange not only doing all of the command work, but then also being out there, helping to fill in gaps in the fights, helping to make up for the fact that I am an okay shooter. Points to Muggis, Lakrits, and China as well, because again, they're getting into a lot of 3v4 fights and still coming out on top. And most of the time that's done by making sure it's 2v1 or 3v1 when the shooting starts. Like, they really work together on trying to get people down. But some of those fights get so messy so quick. So it's never as simple as always getting that advantage. And you really can't underestimate Thunder and Mighty Toast. Again, Thunder is out to get kills. He is out to headshot and click people. Toast is really the brains behind that monster, though. He's the one providing the support, opening up opportunities, and kind of keeping the team tactically, like, on point. H1 is a perfectly good commander, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he can compare to Orange as far as being that good as a commander and being able to get out in the field and just being that tactically aware at all times. So, yeah. Like, yeah. Credit where credit's due. Like, I know the MVPs of my team, and I help. But it's very, very different level. Where can we? Should be about right. There we go. But on the supplies front, I am to the point where, because as a commander you want credits, power, supplies in that order, a player going and grabbing a supply point early is actually very valuable, because they're helping themselves with that +7 credits, they're helping their team, and then their commander isn't having to worry about the supply point. And like I say, the sooner you're getting that +7 credits, the better. Getting your battle suits first, getting your preferred gun first, yeah. Please look at Thunder and the fact that the first thing he ever picks up is an LMG. I don't even think he picks a starter weapon. He waits because he wants the 1500 to turn into an LMG as soon as possible.
Alright, ladies and
Crossing.
gentlemen, we are back now in round 2 of the finals.
I was pretty happy to get this map picked, to be fair.
So the map ban has been done.
Normally it gets banned,
Jumping to
but
round 2.
it got
So
in this
round
one.
was a very tough fight between them, and they
Crossing by and large is an
managed
interesting map because
to
each of
come
the
out on
victory
top
points is
with
very
like
different.
480 points, I believe, right? So right
The
now
C
they're
capture
going
point is in
round
a
two.
like
There will be
dip
a swap
in
coming from EDPA
a
and the
drowned
people that
freaking
done
highway,
well
so
going for crossing.
it's very difficult to actually make
So
progress
our teams are
across,
ready now.
but then
We
it's
will
got
get
defensible
right
points
straight
either
into the
side.
map. And
It does favour
start the
GSF because they're
game.
able to
So
hack that
Vicky
point
is not
from
here
quite
with us
safe
yet. We will be
locations.
waiting for him to join us. So for now,
But again, there's ways of making it
I got
work.
the entire thunder.
I feel like an Orion there is quite good because of putting down the shock mines along with mines to just make it a pain in the ass to actually
I
get there.
expect this map to have a very strong tank presence,
But
significantly
I know that
very,
you would expect a location like that, the Sigma would be strong, but for some reason the Sigma does not handle shooting down at an angle well, and will miss horribly. So I wouldn't put a Sigma over there at all. B is essentially across in the middle of the map. There's approaches from northeast, south, and west. So holding it's kind of a nightmare, because you can get flanked pretty much any time. But again, at the same time, if it is secure, you're able to traverse the map very quickly. You can quickly go from north to south, east to west.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are playing with tournament rules.
And then finally down at the A point, that is located above a subway area. So there's an underground area for infantry to hide and fight through. And in the case of the shockwave, shoot up through the floor. So there's a lot of options to kind of get around there, and for infantry to kind of get a sway over armor.
would say so too. That armor would be the
Oh, Picky, you're back.
logical thing to choose.
Yeah.
I'm back. Yeah.
So again, overall, I like the map.
There's a line
The
to
only issue at the
so I
moment,
had to
and
wait
this was something I
for my
didn't
turn.
really accept until
Because,
Orange
armor,
pointed it out.
as you said,
The
it's,
M33 is extremely
classic
powerful on this
matchup
map.
robotics versus armor.
Because of the way B is set up, it's so easy for an M33 to cover a lot of the map and have influence on the VPs.
So, we have seen certain matchup going with
So
armor
they're
versus
able to really
robotics and,
have an impact. And the Sigma, meanwhile,
armor
you would
can
expect,
be
oh,
very
you just
they-
use Sigmas to counter
you know,
that,
they
right?
react quickly, stop the economy
There's
early
not
on.
really enough distance to
Because
work with.
if you're rushing for the tank, you
So
do not
the
have the
Sigmas
base
aren't
support
able to hide
that
as well.
will
They haven't got the
enable, right?
locations
You
to kind of
slip
hunker
through
down
your
in and
barracks
fire from,
unit, you don't have phalanx, you
and
don't
typically
have-
get sniped.
You will still have armor reactions to the lockdown, but you might not have turrets.
So-
you might not have that early marine push.
It's a
So
touch
without
awkward.
all of that support, if they start banging on tier 2, like throwing in
As far
fire
as
drops,
why
throwing in
robotics,
tons of spells, or even you
robotics
can
has
start putting
tools
the
for
lights,
every occasion.
then you could really disrupt the economy.
Everything
and
is
make sure, try to
viable
stop,
under
the
robotics.
GSF side from going tier 3. Because tanks are not
You
all that great
have
until
mules
you're
that cap,
actually in tier 3
you
with
have
the whole APS
service
upgrade
iron
and the
guards
whole
that
9 years, you know
repair
what I mean?
both iron guards and
Yeah,
vehicles
yeah,
and
they have to,
structures.
like, really,
You have your specialists, which are purely anti-infantry, are replaced by a generalist infantry, which is unfortunately quite fragile now, but are very powerful in the Templar.
I think my expectation, Picky, is that they go robotics for that early
And then
push,
you've
right? The
also
only
got
choice they have
the
is to actually,
Iron Guard drop. Now,
cut them off the economy
the
in
Iron
tier
Guard
1, tier
drop
2, and make sure
allows
that they don't
you
actually
to
reach,
deploy
you
4
know,
discounted
ultimate,
Iron Guards.
tank build. Because,
And it means that rather than relying on your
robotics is very
fabricators
strong
to put
tier
stuff
1,
out,
tier 2, right? You can actually
you just do
Yes,
Iron
maybe
Guard
not tier
drops
1, tier
and
2.
use
Once
those
you
as
start
your
getting
produced
the
Iron
Guard
Guards.
drops, start
You don't
upgrading the
need a
drones,
second fabricator.
you know, and you get all these improved actuators, all the tier 2 tech coming in.
And it allows you to
You are
drop
very
them in
strong
aggressive
that sense,
locations,
and
not walking across them.
Oh,
Oof, bad first engagement for Eagle.
Delta running away.
Again, this is what makes Thunder so dangerous. He's so on point with his accuracy. If you make a mistake, he will kill you.
So, B side will be taken
Delta
by,
now in an awkward position, having to back off.
You see Venom and Fossil hanging
I
around
don't
B.
think he's able to get away from this.
Being pushed
He doesn't
by,
have... If I were him, I would turn 180 and run straight back using that...
not seeing the
Oh,
chance to take it
they
out,
backed
just
off?
pulling back.
Why?
If they're playing very, very safely.
Okay.
Venom and Fossils very aggressively going all the way up to their side. I think they will survive the rest of the energy. Just watch
I
this.
don't understand why there was a retreat there. I presume Mighty Toast told him to back off.
Yeah, Fossil is going for Hunter. Not sure if that's the best thing to do.
Oh, immediately dropped the shield.
Yeah, yeah.
But Fossil being backed up by Venom.
Oh yeah, I throw a load of grenades at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the things I decided to do for this was to take a set of the base grenades, the frags. So I just threw all those in the back of him, which shakes your screen as well. It's like being in artillery. So I just chucked 4 of those at him. He was too busy being rattled by those, and I just got the kill on him. I'll take it. It also helped that I had support.
Yeah, they get surrounded.
But yeah.
So yeah, here goes Thunder.
Just,
There goes Anchor.
busy.
Oh, Anvil.
Anvil is still alive. Anvil's trying to pick up Thunder. It's a very
Ah,
hopeless
Cammy.
situation
Yeah.
here. It's going down.
Still not familiar with all of the EDPA's lineup for this one. Cammy was new, Morty was relatively new.
Oh wow, Team Zidane just managed to get P now.
So yeah, B collapses. Again, I don't know why they were so passive. I feel like they should have gone in, killed Delta, hit the cash point and got out from there.
I think that they are able. They should
Every time you
go
push into the enemy side of the map, you want to be decapping or capturing a point.
and probably barracks here to really harass them. But that's
Killing
the thing with,
officers is valuable because you're removing their equipment from the game,
you know, their tank
but
timing a bit. I
you
always feel
actually
that
want to be
this
hitting
area
the
after the
commander's
economy
resource pool.
it's a very dangerous
And you
area.
do that by
It's
destroying
like
armories,
you can
destroying
take down
mules,
their
capping points.
energy point, start harassing it, even though it's protected by
Um,
the turret.
Just running back and forth is just distraction work. But they just backed off for no visible reason, to my knowledge.
Take a look. Yep.
Yeah. So they're just vouching for
But
control now.
those are usually push
Trying
all
to
this
keep it
down,
up.
right?
Yeah, I found Dozer was very passive
Pushing
here.
along. They're going to
He's just there with a marksman rifle, just picking off things here.
The marksman package is
To the
good.
point where I
yeah,
Might be able
but
to
he's-
uncap
I
it.
look at engaging him, see how I can pester him.
See the
Yeah,
one
the victory
uncapping?
point's
Yeah, it's too
down.
late.
So they did this advantage.
It's very good on the headshots though, clearing out those scouts very
Able to
quickly.
get some shots in.
But
Oh, he's got a
Exactly, so now
stealth suit as
Fossil's
well,
going
Orion.
yeah, so
Shockwave. This is going to be
I'm running
very
Shockwave because I can't aim,
painful for Dozer.
so I may as well make up for that fact. Why did I not
Although
charge
B is being
him then?
kept,
Ah, here we
so
go.
massive fight to B. Might
Yeah,
be
he's doing the
slowing
smart
down.
thing, backing off. He knows he's got a marksman rifle.
Dozer is being pushed back.
I probably could have rushed him before he was back in position to shoot and pushed him off with the
So,
shockwave.
two
But
people
the
down.
risk is...
Oh, it's a massive fight. Orangepest is up front.
Yeah, Bongo is in front. So Bongo always fights in front. I saw
Yeah.
him fight even last round. He was in front. So Venom is now trying to make something happen here with Thunder. So it is Thunder versus Venom right now. Let's take a look at
Classic,
this.
classic enemies. Like, oh,
Yep.
yeah, he's running away. Oh,
He's running away. He's
saying,
playing it
no,
safe.
I'm not.
He's playing it safe.
Berserker
focus on
allowing him
Thunder's
to play quite
positioning
safe.
because we have Demolishers coming in.
And Orange using the
What's
Mule
going
to be
on
pest.
here? Demolishers
Oh my god,
fire
don't...
on Thunder.
Do the Demolishers
Thunder's
get
getting
him? No.
shot. Multiple shots.
Scarab Mine does a lot of damage.
Venom is pushing back. Venom is pushing back.
I've also had some weird cases of units stop firing, stop targeting, or are blinded by it, but they don't actually get the blind effect. Hunter, of course, runs over, saves him. Mighty Toast, as always, being a team player. See, it's very weird for me, because Orangepest is the kind of tactics of our team. He is the one with the oversight, looking at the map, what's going on, and calling out where people need to be. For EDPA, that job seems to fall to Toast. Toast is the one actually directing officers and kind of rallying the team a lot of the time. I could be wrong, but that is the way it comes across.
But remember, even after you get the tank in tier 2, it doesn't do anything.
Thunder down again?
Tank in tier 2, you just need to...
Oh, right, yeah. So I came in the back with the shockwave.
Shockwave.
Yeah, nah.
He's out of
I'm
shots
not
now.
the best shooter here.
Oh,
So shh.
the Thunder is down.
Shh.
False
I got
alarm
him.
wasting
It
any
counts.
shots, he's taking down. Oh, he's going to take down Anvil.
Weird artifact with the shockwave is there's a minimum range to it. So if you point blank someone, it doesn't actually do anything. It just passes over them. You have to like have like a meter or two range,
But now,
like
now
probably
with,
about a meter range before it actually
our
works.
logistics coming down, so we could see
Also, yes,
around
I
from
suck at
TSF.
shooting, but I still killed them. Shh. Okay.
It's
Iron Guard dropping mid,
there's
yeah,
going to be
safe,
a lot of
easy way of
holding
getting Iron
power
Guards on the
for
field.
Exron in the, like, Satan is preparing to clamp down, lock down everything.
You could give Orangepest Jip for like the amount of bank he has at the moment, but considering he's been on the
Oh,
field
and
fighting as
full
well,
selection.
seems reasonable to me.
The Scarab's just killing them off.
Scarabs for free damage.
33 into production.
Yeah, they've got one MP3 in production.
Damn.
But they really
Quite-
need to climb all the way up to the tier 3.
Yeah, that they need to
Yeah.
claw their way there. They have enough
Running armor,
supply
you
now.
want to rush for late game.
Struggling to hold on to the economy right now. Look at it, it's 118 to 80. Significant advantage, 20% higher.
First M33 coming out.
More.
So again, going back to this with the vehicle situation,
20% higher.
an M33 comes out with 10k HP. Do you really need the extra
It's very
3k?
important. So I heard that
Maybe,
having supplies to get it is very important.
but not really.
You also need an extra supply center to upgrade the reactive armor for the
10k HP is plenty.
So
It is
you
tanky
cannot
enough.
estimate the
So rather than investing in vehicle upgrades, you can invest in teching, getting up to the turret bonuses, getting up to reactive armor. The actual vehicle health upgrades aren't that important.
If the tanks move up your...
Oh yeah, I was screwed here either way. But I managed to get the point.
Yeah. This is...
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
you managed to get an EMP.
I was a bit too late with my MP grenade, which is on me, but you know.
But I don't think it's gonna make any difference.
And now they can harass the backline and try to destroy the infrastructure of
Yeah.
Exron. Just
Might be
move
able
the
to do
tank
it.
up.
Even if the tank come over here.
Yeah, but I don't think they will go for the power plant. I think they can go for the...
What is the right play in this situation? What
Take down the...
could we
the-
be
They're definitely not
doing
going for the power plant. They're definitely not place it. It's very
to
dangerous
undermine that
keep the
M33?
enemy
What?
territory.
Oh, they
They're
took A, they
trying
took A. That's good.
to knock on A now. Yep. So A
So,
is done. They've got a
To
couple of
beat an
barrels there.
M33,
Going to get a second
focusing on the
tank.
robotics side, right? So
You have,
if we were to focus on using Iron Guards, we'd need roughly 3 or 4 Night Iron Guards, and they'd need to get a good engagement and surround on the M33. in this situation, that's not happening. H-Bomb is
No,
not going to put that tank in a dangerous situation before it's completely ready. And he is also going to make sure that he has an officer nearby to actually support it. So, expecting Knight Iron Guards to get a good situation, like fighting situation, is not going to happen. These guys seem... Yeah, Thunder and Anvil there to put a lot of damage on these Iron Guards. Can they get value?
Are they going to transform into rooks? I don't think it's a good idea.
No,
There's a fight going on in C right now.
Jeremy, why did you leave?
4 officers by himself. They're going for the tank.
Oh yeah, we all in this tank.
Going down.
Poor tank.
Yeah, because they're all down south.
This is how a coordinated team actually takes out a tank.
Really had some misplay on H-Bomb pushing that up. Although I give us points for actually getting over there and just wiping it.
Yeah,
But it is costing us A.
Look at that. So the team Satan actually has 2 tactical. You have a tactical meeting and a second research module up as well. So,
I thought they were.
Mechanics
outside of station. I was like, what? Huh? How?
And also they have the level 3 robotics armor research and the actuators as well. Looks like they're spending their energy. Really
Is it
optimized
worth
manner.
getting tier 3 robotics in this situation?
He might be able to hold on to this too.
Do you think Iron Guard Court?
No, I don't think it's good.
Yeah, doing it for Iron Guard calls is worth it.
I don't think
Yeah,
that'll be the,
it's just not worth it for
I think they're
Knights.
gonna rely on human officers to take down the tank by the use of EMP, but they're going to use Iron Guard calls probably to pressure them very strongly.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
seeing
actually
any
have to
rogues
agree
being
with
researched at all. I think
Jeremy on that one.
He might not count on Iron Guard to make a lot of difference. Maybe for some pressure.
Jesus Christ, Jeremy. You okay?
How did
Did
Delta
you win?
Delta,
Oh, okay.
Or have you been enslaved? Like what?
Delta taking
Did the
5
rat win?
mantle,
Ooh.
and now the
EDPA
tiny
has
ace run.
all 3 points now. But
That's
it's not from
grief.
the tank though, there's nothing going on here. But yeah, the tank did force all 4 of them to go there, right? But taking down that one tank was ultimately good.
But look at the cash from Exron.
Wow.
Just had to rush Marines and overwhelm it, right?
They're not spending a lot, right?
Just
So
rush the
he's always
points,
waiting.
cap
I think
out.
the commander is always waiting for... Oh, we've got EMP coming down on Hunter, 1 person.
Yeah, I disagree with that use of... right, I see Orange's... Orange is looking at that as I've got Venom and Fossil moving in. We should be able to get Hunter. Yeah.
I'm not seeing it right now.
I guess the only way they could do it is that keep chipping
Back
off the
tank coming in.
tanks, and
Um,
I would personally play
so the
tank
issue
plus
we're now
one.
running
I
into
haven't seen
is
any
that
plus play from,
Orange doesn't have the munitions to
Team
keep
Satan.
dropping those EMP strikes.
Also, that's
They're also not
Um,
doing any demolishers as well. Is this gonna be an Iron Guard?
He's dropped those before realising the tank was there. That's rough.
but if
I think he wanted to get rid of that phalanx, and then, yeah, the tanks rolled up, and he's like, ah,
Chase
crap.
away Hunter with these 3 Iron Guards. The Hunter is now getting very busy with the Iron Guard.
You would expect him to be able to get Hunter here,
Iron
but
Guard might-
the Iron Guards don't necessarily focus the right target.
The Iron Guard is going now retarded Hunter.
And we have Ace drones which distract the Iron Guards for way too goddamn long, and they all die to the M33.
well, I won't say very
And
expensive,
Hunter's
but
completely safe.
They have a lot of cash.
Ace.
Doesn't matter.
Yep, they do.
Really good.
They do, however, is getting A back.
Yeah.
Interesting wall.
1 scout being a hero.
This is a great play by
Now
Team
this
Satan.
is a fight that interests me greatly, because I'm pretty sure what happens here in a moment... No, Jeremy. Jeremy, that fight in mid's really important, please. Please.
They've already got 2, and they've got Sigma
No.
as well, and the
Right.
tier 3 is not even done yet, you know? So, this may not look too good.
Jeremy.
Sigma may be able to lock down at least 1 or 2 lanes. They can park 1 Sigma over here, you know? Put on charge mode.
Massive team fight goes down in mid, and Jeremy doesn't
There's
watch
no way
it.
to flank the Sigma here.
Is it because I was there?
Oh, massive fight.
Venom
B.
is now going for B.
Venom running away, but oof, that's.
There was something I was hoping to see, because I swear in that fight, one of them dove in, I think it might have been Thunder or Hunter, dove into the mid, and I was firing at him, but doing no damage with the shockwave. But he was also suspended in mid-air, it's weird, but... Now I will never know.
We have demolishers now. Take out the armory here. We do, however, have 1 tank as well.
Yes, there is a tank shooting at some random Iron Guards down the road.
Like
Don't get me wrong, I appreciate the M33s and the fact that the AI,
You see
you know,
the upgrades for the
actually
tanks
does
again.
The upgrades are coming in.
function and fight and take part in the battle.
Oh, the vehicle
Officers.
armor upgrade is just coming in now.
So what, there is a Sigma down that road? There is.
Uh,
Are we not gonna...
That's going to make a big difference. Like, you have the Sigma, of course, coming out, but the officers are going to get
Ah.
such a more difficult time taking out those tanks.
that's true.
If
That's
those
true.
tanks get
The Sigma,
proper
the Sigma,
support,
the Sigma outraged the M33 by a large margin. You know?
Yeah, it's just a shame there's terrain in the way.
They're putting way behind.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
so this is what I
still,
mean. It's like
here,
the Sigma can work. There are lines for it to fire down, but
Thunder got shot by the
it's
Sigma.
just there's enough cover that it's just not really viable. Also, I wish the Sigma would stop pre-firing before it's fully aimed. God damn it! Oh,
This is it.
No, he missed.
the EMP was countered by the no.
It missed.
Right, so the APDS on the M33 shoots down EMP.
Yeah, but this is big. Can it take down the battle tank before it gets online?
So the first two impacts of the EMP were actually blocked by the M33. It missed because it blocked a shot from the Sigma.
By Ace Drone or the engineers. The engineers.
So,
The rocket is down them.
is that working as intended?
Apparently, can you check if China's in game currently?
But yeah, Sigma really should have won that fight.
Cool.
Outright should have won that fight.
Now apparently he DC'd maybe?
Oh, did he DC?
Now all these Iron Guards get cleaned up
Like,
really
I
easy
go
as well.
from Rico,
Yeah.
but apparently he is now in game. Yeah, seems like...
On the M33 front, if you don't want to change the base M33 from what it currently is, my recommendation would be you make the turret upgrades. Like you can't have 3 turrets on top of the M33 turret. You have to pick one. So baseline, you get the MG turret, but then you can choose to upgrade that to either an APDS turret or to a missile turret and work with that, rather than having 4 turrets on one vehicle. You know, because then you're taking off that very highest end level without removing options from the game. You know, it's like, do you want a more durable M33 by having the APDS on it, or do you want more deadly?
I want to see from finals. Just 2 to 2 nail to nail. Oh, the tank.
The other thing I would look at doing is giving the Omicron a little bit more AT punch, because currently it kind of sucks.
That is a big...
You need to use the attack module to get any kind of decent damage. But for instance, 2 Omicron light tanks will lose to an M33 currently.
But you have like 3 Omicrons right now.
And both are generalists, to be fair.
Stacking massively on Omicrons.
To have that measure of disparity doesn't really make much sense.
If they were to... They need to save that EMP. They should stop throwing EMP at officers and like arbitrarily throw, because EMPs are now really expensive at 1,005, and they do not.
I do have to agree. Yeah, it's too expensive to throw EMPs at everything. I know the Orange is probably like doing that because it's like, I need to influence this fight. We need to win that fight. We need to win this fight. So he's throwing whatever's to hand.
Like pretty bad for like GSF is having a lot of supplies. This is like
So yeah, here we go. We got 2 Omicron light tanks versus an M33, and
We'll see how it goes.
Oh, crawling pushing, crawler taken down, said nothing.
EMP is
Yeah.
coming down.
M33 blocks every other shot. Where's the other? Oh, the second one hasn't moved in. That's why. God damn it. First Omicron light tank taking a lot of damage. Third Omicron light tank? Is that 3? Yes, there are 3.
Trying to take down the ballista as well. However,
Yeah, I'm gonna presume it was actually stuck on something or being a complete bugger. Yeah. So those Omicron light tanks have to find, DPS their way through 10k of HP plus the APDS. So fortunately at this range the M33 isn't blocking with it, but one's dead. Admittedly Anvil got that one, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, all the Omicrons go down, the M33 lives.
Engineers, they do hurts. It's see that M33 just bamfing right up. All those engineers.
You have to focus so much damage into the M33, and you think about it, if the M33 didn't have the APDS system on it, it would have died.
Yep. I don't know if they can do anything about this because C. Well, there's
I
nothing
do feel like it's
exactly,
just too much stacked on one very
why
powerful,
does
one
there's
very
nothing in
durable
C?
chassis. And it creates a situation where it's either
If they've taken out M13,
terribly overpowered
it
or it
would've
gets
made
completely
a difference.
overwhelmed. But it
I'm not
leans
sure if
towards...
this is a good investment though.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Hey,
either.
echelons!
C is definitely a better bet.
Yeah, here.
Oh,
Like they have
yeah, it's already
Pharah,
full health again.
Yeah,
Run, Orange, run.
drained. Nobody is A. Everything is a B. It's just massive mayhem.
If you think about it from the perspective, if Axeron had an equivalent exploit suit, something that could hack vehicles,
Yeah, no, I cannot see Satan pulling
the
back
tool would be there to
30
counter the
seconds.
M33.
So
Right?
no,
You would
it's,
just
I think
hack the
that,
tank and then follow up.
EDPA by skin
EMP grenades are there,
through this
yes,
one.
They will.
but you have to keep spending on those. You have to keep going, buying them, bring them to the front, using them. The exploit suit is able to just hack. It's as long as that suit stays up and online, you can keep doing it. And this means you can persist a lot more. You can maintain the pressure on that kind of unit to have enough time to burn it down.
But I'm not sure if they think that, oh, you know what, if you buy time, it's going to be worse because now they have more tank. So that could be one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It needs an either-or
Like,
fix.
DSF
It's
pulled
not
ahead
all of what
quite-
I've said,
I
but,
mean,
you know,
EDPA just pulled
reducing
ahead
how many
quite
mini
strongly,
turrets it
like,
can have, or
ooh, this is
giving
some good
like
finals, I
Axeron's,
say.
you know, other options better sort of damage versus it, or something along those
At
lines.
this point.
So
Right now it's just
EDPA
too
is
damaging, too
taking it
durable,
to
too
one-on-one
versatile in one
versus
big fat
Satan.
brick.
Look at the amount of,
Well played by Thunder here though. He clearly had a strong game, as did Cammy. Didn't see much of it, but again, well played him.
Wow.
But we'll just ignore my
Take
stats.
3
Don't
minutes,
look
5
at
minutes
those.
break or 3
Um,
minutes. Rico, is this 3 minutes or 5 minutes?
Let's give me 5.
Yeah, barely made it. But you've got to keep in mind, it barely made it against 3 Omicrons.
Alright, so we'll take a 5 minutes break to be back
So,
at the
how do you feel
intensify.
3 Omicrons should have
We'll
done?
be seeing,
Yeah. But the issue is that Axeron couldn't break the bigger, more sort of heavily optimized single body. Yes, we saw the Sigma try and do that, but again, it's awkward, and generally you put an M33 out of direct line of sight of where a Sigma might be placed. As well as the fact that the Sigma isn't going to work against much else. No, that's too big of a jump. The idea is to bring it down a peg. Now, I think the best solution, if you want to keep the core of what an M33 is just that rather than it having 3 mini turrets on top, you have to pick one. So you get the freebie machine gun and you can swap that out for an APDS or a missile turret. You can't have everything. You have to make an important choice on this big, powerful unit. Which again makes it more interesting. And less of a, I need to buy all of the turret upgrades so that it's epically strong. You know, it's... Do I want the missile turret to kill officers? Do I want the APDS to protect against missiles? And then that's something you can look at balance-wise, like, what do people tend to prefer? Well, yeah, it barely made it out, but it also barely made it out with only one level of vehicle upgrade. It's not like you can turn around to me and say, well, the GSF team had to invest in their vehicle upgrades to make it strong enough and tough enough to survive. No, it's already got 10k HP, it's a lot to get through. And it allows GSF to avoid spending on those vehicle upgrades and instead focus on teching and get the more relevant turret upgrades. And again, you can't even tell us that like there wasn't the coordination. This was 2 coordinated teams. But the amount of coordination needed by GSF and the amount of coordination needed by Axeron to overcome those obstacles doesn't really add up. And I'm not saying it should be the same. I'm not saying that asymmetry is somehow a problem. It's just you still have to admit, yes, the M33 is too versatile, it's doing too much. Something needs to be kind of taken away. Nothing massive, but something needs to be taken away. And again, I'd say the smallest thing you could look at doing, and it also helps them on the munition side of things, or supply side of things, is reducing the amount of focus on the mini turrets. So, yeah. But here's the thing, Jeremy. In the situation with the Sigma, Orange had EMP'd. He had done the direct counter. He was not countered by the enemy commander, he was countered by the fact that the M33 ATPS decided, oh, that's EMP, I'll just shoot it down, and shot down the first 2 volleys of the EMP call-in. And in that time then proceeded to kill the Sigma. No, it didn't miss. Oh god, have I got to go back and show it again? The M33 shot down the first 2 projectiles of the EMP. If we can. So where are we at? We are going to want to jump to 6 hours 20 to come back to this, but let's go back.
It might not count 1,500 supplies.
Oh, massive fight.
Start coming out. They need to save that.
If we can get it's just massive mayhem.
Alright, so this is just after that fight then. Correct? Yes.
Yeah, why coming out?
Yeah, this is big. Oh. And now.
Right, okay.
EDPA has all 3. Yeah. It can hold now 12, but 2 lanes. They can stop. To you know.
Let's see if we can find that engagement. Okay, Sigma's moving in. Orange has called in his EMP, and the battle tank is shooting it down. He didn't miss.
Because the APS actually blocks it.
Now, should that be the case?
Yeah, they're trying to take out the battle tank for you. However, the ace is coming in for the kill. This is it.
No, it missed.
It missed. It missed.
That's big.
No,
this is big.
Let's see if I can get. So, it's shot it down up in the air, preventing it hitting the tank.
This is it.
No, it missed.
It missed.
Not just once, twice.
It missed.
That's big.
No,
this is big.
Because the APS actually blocks
So, there was no misplay on Orange's part, and instead he was robbed by the fact that APDS is a binary of, do I shoot it down, yes or no?
Eagle's down.
Eagle got taken down by who?
So,
by Astron or the engineers.
Eagle is getting picked up. Eagle is getting picked up.
by all rights in that engagement, the M33 should be dead and the Sigma should be alive. Just keep that in mind.
Apparently, can you check if China's engaged?
So, back to where we were. Important moments. Sorry, Jeremy, I keep throwing stuff on you, but, you know. Again, my real question is, was that intentional? Is that something that the M33 ADPS should be able to do, or is that not working as intended?
Hey, now we are in round
Dear.
of the finals between EDPA
Still,
and
in that match.
for the map ban right now.
Hold on, I don't even remember what I did in that match. I feel like I did very little. I ran around with a shockwave and a pain in the arse, I know that much, but...
Did we go for a faction swap? I guess we go for a faction swap, okay. Team Zayden is now playing GSF. What is the 4th map that's going to be banned? So let's take a look. Right now it's between what? Academy and Sunday, right?
I mean, it sounds like you could fix it by just being like slightly shorter range, so that then if it's close enough, it would still get the EMP effect. Because I mean, that was basically still very close. It is just where it had backed up enough.
Okay, it seems like both is a. In downtown, we'll be seeing a rematch.
Because I do agree, the EMP is still going off. It's just being detonated too far off to actually have an effect.
Downtown is going to be a pure rematch of the first round. So I think EDPA is considering, we might lose again at downtown. We might have to do Sunday. I think downtown is getting banned. What do you think, Pick?
But I think, like, I know from past experiences, if we can compare Satan to
So me personally, my problem with the M33 is we're all agreed it is the best late game option in the entire game, bar none. Like, there is nothing which is as good as an M33 late game. And I feel like the thing you could target is, rather than changing the M33 that comes in for the other two factions, because everyone gets it, but the point is that it's better for armored, is the issue that armored is giving too much to the M33, causing the issue.
I would say a full rematch, same faction, right?
And if you look at it that way, then all you need to do is target the fact that
would you expect same with divisions?
maybe the turrets are too much.
Or maybe same divisions?
But again, but they have to be very careful, because they could swing any time, you know. They could change division anytime. I mean.
Yeah, exactly. So.
What do you mean not having one?
GSF could do a power play and just go.
My point is, like, just.
But at the same time, armor is not as strong as it is in crossing. Crossing just really.
Not having one turret is too weak. I'm not sure what you mean by that.
So here's the reason why I think downtown is strong. Downtown has 3 supplies, right? So having supplies.
I mean, by all rights, either the missile or the APDS turret is strong in and of itself. The missile turret is great for killing officers, breaking Aegis shield. It gives a lot more versatility in its firepower. APDS is giving it the means of mitigating a lot of damage. Like, both are very powerful. Does it need both?
That's fine. But if you have A and C, you will have your energy and you will have their energy as well. You know what I mean? And the proximity between A and C and their, you know, the, what do you call it? The energy on each side, right? It's actually very, very near. So, you think about it this way: if you go for armor and you hold A and C and their energy and your energy, it's pretty much over.
The thing is, I don't think there's an argument for the notion that the mini turrets, like, if you took one of those away, it makes it underpowered. Like, we already know the baseline M33 is a solid anti-armor option.
Yeah, it's like infantry, so well, no Sigma tank destroyer. Well, I really want to see the use of support power, actually.
Okay, so what have Axeron got for their endgame?
That could be pretty big.
Support crawler will be very interesting, but where would they put support?
Well, no, because if it's got APDS, that's not real. If it's got reactive armor, that'll also eat a shot.
Yeah, but if you put one support crawler with a few,
And again, that's not how you use M33. You don't leave it out. Yeah, the base. I'm not saying we nerf the baseline.
Although
I'm saying we look at the armor's version and take some of that power off.
Just amazing. That's just so strong.
Like, the baseline is unchanged. Just taking away one of those armor turrets. Boom.
We see that they still are able to lose massively in tier 2. And
If it can't have 3 extra turrets on it. If it can only have 2, or if it has to make a choice and one, they either have the baseline machine gun or they change it into one of the upgrade ones. There's choices there, there's depth there, and the armor one is still the best one. But the power difference between the reinforcement one for the other two factions and the armor one is clearly too much. Like, there's too much disparity. It also affects armor's reinforcement wave 3, because that's getting all the bonuses from armor as well. So by all rights, the armored division gets the best tier 3 wave.
From GSF and 4 from Exxon. Oh, you have 1 down.
Thunder, Anchor, going straight for the kill.
Delta's down. Ooh, Lakrits is down.
He's trying to revive, but to take down the Eagle. He's running away.
Yeah.
Hard capping it to 1 is an option, yeah. It prevents that all out, but it would mean that Armored would always maintain 1.
Eagles taking hits.
Like, the entire meta would be maintain 1 and then build other things.
Eagle down.
It would diversify their late game.
Safety Venom are able to revive.
Maybe it's right.
He ran straight for the finishing kill.
Yes, if they can get a mule here and take down army, it's big.
Yep.
I don't think increasing its supply cost would be the right move. I mean, it might be, but I wouldn't go that way. Again, I would be looking at those mini turrets.
They're being very hyper aggressive. They're going all the way here. They lock
But yeah, new match, new things to focus on. So, we've actually gone back to the first match.
Bongo
Pretty
down.
sure.
Commander down. That's pretty big. Anchor. Oh
Yeah.
no. He's EMPing Bongo.
taken down.
Yeah, so we've literally got a repeat of round 1.
Delta's
Back on downtown, same team, same locations.
Venom load.
Similar setup. The difference here being, I believe, Dozer has... Yeah, Dozer has located himself over at A and is staying there.
One
Is
versus
he really expecting this to happen? Is it happening?
Eagle down.
Don't tell me this is happening. Oh,
Shockwave.
it's really happening. Oh!
No, he must reload.
See, this is the thing you got to deal with Thunder, because he rushes that LMG, you get situations where he's 2v1.
No.
It's gonna be a 1v3.
He's going to get.
No way. Oh, Venom left.
No.
Is he going to get 3?
It's Thunder. Thunder
Wow.
is doing Thunder things.
Wow, this is
So,
Thunder doing
what-
Thunder things.
Oh, I remember what happened. Someone had picked up a Spec Ops by accident,
Yeah, but it's very dangerous because Venom is still around the
and now Venom also goes down. Jesus.
What do you say?
No.
Thunder having a monster game.
Yeah, because Venom is around the corner, so...
Well played to Thunder.
I think
As I say, you make a mistake, he'll kill you for it.
Armor and just destroy the armory. They took map control.
Let's see.
They have a very.
So this is really the difference you see from the first round. This time, they win that fight, and then they're using it to keep pushing. So they've actually gone really ballsy though and put that frontline mule up. That's incredibly dangerous, but it does lock that point for them. So yeah, the fact that they've got that cash point locked down is huge. Meanwhile, the other big difference here is not only have they grabbed that cash point, they've also got all of the munitions points on the west side
I
here.
think having mules in robotics being able to cap is a big deal.
Yeah, that's strong. Ace. Oh,
I think I end up being a
is
poor
happening.
match for Dozer in
I
this.
see a lot of
Yeah, Dozer is entirely
B
focused on
think is an
fighting,
engagement.
I think, for the most part. Also, good use of the move in. So he's actually ordering infantry up to take fire and support him. The issue I think Dozer has here is he doesn't have a suit. Yeah, correct. He doesn't have a suit. I do.
Oh, it's just
Um,
Oh, Dozer is just trying to find it.
okay. With Eagles taking damage middle. Just hold
EDPA
on,
focusing
stand
on B, controlling that.
He's, they're really
Is that the
Those were
right
got
move?
taken out by Fossil.
Yes, with the situation on that cash point, the longer they hold that, the better.
very dangerous place right
Um,
now. Exactly the same.
Oh,
A lot of damage here.
So what I like to see is a lot of
Um,
Iron Guards right now. They have a lot of income, a lot of cash. Why no scouts?
yeah.
No prediction.
So you can see that cash difference. Plus 106 for Axron right now, and plus 54 for GSF. Because you've got to keep in mind, so you're losing a point and gaining. And that point, when it's locked down, is
Iron
plus
Guard
20.
drop incoming. I just saw
10 from the
cash
base
disappear.
point, and then an extra 10 from the mule locking it down.
Good thought.
So you're talking about having stolen that 1 point and secured it causes a disparity of 40. So it's huge.
Now. Otherwise, you're gonna lose all the iron
Okay,
guns.
Toast, baby is down, but this Iron Guard drop is
Yeah,
huge, I think. If they have no smoke,
this is timing.
Yeah, this is a
All about
really
timing,
bad
right?
position for
Oh no, they might lose all the iron guards.
SAN. Will...
well...
Oh no, they've
they
been...
have
Yeah,
Grenade launcher.
grenade launch is going to rip that up.
He needs to spread it out. He needs to spread it out.
Really? Oh my god, look at the commander. He just
Oh.
immediately
Uh,
spread it
Mass Age drones.
out. Wow, all the
One Iron Guard
Ace
down.
drones. They're a bit good.
Ah, such a shame. But they took C. They're taking C, and I think Yeah, they took C, they took A, taking down the points of Satan. And
Damn.
That Iron Guard door could be huge if it was placed on top.
So this is where they need to time their engagement really, really well.
I'll be honest. Have I? No, I'm not even dead. I'm actually helping the team for once. Holy moly! Points to me.
So
But that is leaving Dozer over to this flank.
They need to get supplies back.
I don't know why he's not grabbing that munitions point. It would be very valuable for his team. More importantly, it would be very valuable denying us it. Repair drone coming down too late. Thunder going for C?
All A's
And running the Orion.
I think this whole all A's concept is
Orion with Shockwave, ISW. See, you can see all full-on officer hunter man. The only real AT he's carrying is those EMP grenades, and that's just to lock something down and give himself room to escape. He is here to kill people, you know? Me, meanwhile, slug shotgun and a grenade launcher. Iron Guard killing you.
Looks like they managed to get this point back. They will get the B back as well. The point is still very close. 393 to 424. GSF is now really going for their late game play. They've got for a tier 3. Do we have a tier 3 yet from Exeron's side? Yes, they do. They don't have any tier 3 packs, but it's coming in. We'll be seeing some elite marines coming really soon.
But imagine, like the GSF.
So a big difference you're seeing here is the fact that H-Bomb is putting units on his officers. Now, the benefit is that those units are then actively moving around and supporting that officer. They're there as bodyguards and supports. At the same time, it's also very easy to lose that infantry, and they're halfway across the map not being helpful. Oh, that's just me being a pest.
Also, just
Fossil is doing so much damage here. Trying. Oh, this is so annoying.
good shots, good shots. Smoke
Wow,
grenades.
all the way here. What the hell is going on, Fossil?
That's not smoke. No, it's not smoke.
Yeah.
Oh, Hunter coming in by.
I do love my grenade launcher. I do waste a lot of shots with it, though.
But you have C is being secured. A is
The benefit of, if you fire enough, you're going to hit one eventually,
Very,
right?
very dangerous play. We're seeing EDPA still have a bit of a lead. They have A and C now, and they have.
Yeah, there's a good move by Orange moving those in there, but I do get the feeling they're going to be cleared out for practically nothing by Dozer there.
They know that they've been
But again, it's drawing officers out, putting them out of position.
Oh, the drop.
With the armory buffs, doing that with Iron Guards is nowhere near as effective as it used to be. You just can't kill an armory quite quickly enough.
I'm not sure.
That is Iron Guard cores being teched right there.
It does work.
So the only real downside of using the grenade launcher on an officer is the fact that the last chunk of their shields is going to absorb the whole hit. So all that an enemy officer really needs to do is try to make sure they don't lose their shields until it's the last shot in a magazine from a grenade launcher, because then by the time it's reloaded, they've started regenning, and it takes another whole hit. It's what makes the grenade launcher quite ineffective against enemy officers. You need to hit them multiple times in succession, quick succession, for it to be effective.
But there's so many of them there, though. Oh no, they have disengaged already. It's just Delta here.
Oh, Delta impede.
Yeah. But there's no
Don't
fights
know
going
how,
on here. They're not taking it. They're not taking the fight. So Dozer is taking back A.
EDPA maintaining good amount of
Yeah,
control at
10
this
Iron
point.
Guard cores, 10 Iron Guard
Still
cores.
keeping pressure on the
Wow, here
VPs.
comes the calls.
Iron Guard
Oh my
calls.
Here, they have actuators research.
they
It's
split
really, really
up.
fast.
They
They're
s-
coming down for the
they
kill.
split
Let no
up.
one underestimate
There's not
the
a
benefits
photo from
of having faster Iron Guards, because holy moly.
No scout production because saving 6k for Iron Guard. Yep, that is accurate assessment right now.
That said, with Iron Guard cores, it makes a huge difference spacing them out, because typically they just get sent in as one blob, and a good artillery strike or a good grenade launcher will actually
Do you
put a
think
lot of
they'll
them down.
go, like, only
But
Iron Guard
if you
cores?
spread them
I
out
see,
correctly,
like,
if you actually try and get them spread out a bit, they can be extremely difficult to
But do you
cope with.
think they will only go cores? That's like 40
Why are they
cores
still
is
back there,
insane.
though?
I feel like they will just end up.
Oh,
I don't
Rooks.
think you can do 40 calls though. It's 7 per piece.
It's
so
possible they're just being massed so they can make a push when the officers turn up?
Yeah, 30
You can
cores.
do like 20 per max.
But again, toast here, just dealing with all the PvE.
Using the MRPG cluster to do so much damage.
Yeah. Hunter, oh, he needs to use his collector.
Yeah, you might use a collector to run away.
Oh, the hell from the Berserker.
Oof.
Nice. Oh, look, support
Muggis,
collar.
Lakrits, and China down over at sea.
We're seeing a support collar coming down. They have a level 3 upgrade on the robot.
Where the hell am I right now?
Already.
Uh,
So this will be very good.
I must be
however, this is
re-equipping
not
after a
stealth
death.
Division, you cannot
No.
help the units.
Yeah. Hunter going in alone. Oh, and here you have the tank course just
Yeah,
yeah,
10 calls
pulling
are
back the infantry, but
here.
does.
yeah.
10 calls are really scary.
They
They have
know.
two calls,
Feels like a
they
poor
will
timing on the Iron Guard cores. Too late to have been of real impact. That said, Hunter going in there and clearing out that armory, which is really good.
Orangepest is
Uh,
longer.
Oh, do I get loads of free damage on those Iron Guard cores? I think I do. Yeesh. Yeah, again, blobbing them up like that isn't worth it. The sooner you split up those Iron Guard cores, the more value you get from them.
coming back here really strong. They are holding all 8.
You really want to be aggressive with them.
Yeah, and 4 rooks in the field.
Yeah, this is really, really strong. So we're seeing support crawler being picked up as well. Being,
Support crawler, the almighty infinite supply of incredibly expensive equipment. Unlimited supply of 1500 credit equipment makes a huge difference.
I believe they can do this. There's so many calls and they're all split up.
Yeah, now they've been split up, they're a lot more durable, but really you want to be aggressive with them. Defensively, they're just not strong enough. You really want to use their mobility and firepower to just get in their face and clean out. Thunder kills me.
You can take down 2 cores, but there's like 8 more.
Yeah, and then we're getting cleaned up. Good flank by Thunder and Anchor there.
Yeah, Anchor's taking
Bit of a
down.
misplay by Anchor there, though.
Eagle being pushed back.
Can Eagle get away? No.
Hunter is taking damage.
They get up their allies? So yeah, no actual losses, so it still works out. Oh, Thunder goes down, though.
He revived one.
I'd take that.
That's a shame. Oh, there's the shield.
No, this is not the Sigma match. This is match 3. So basically we end up having a rematch of match 1, but instead of them going stealth, they go robotics.
Stacking their cash.
Yeah, a lot of cash.
I feel like Satan
And
has,
the
like, a
difference you
very
see is
difficult
that they
pullback.
have much better overall map control, and their tools later in the game are much more potent. The Iron Guard cores, for instance, are really, really good for hunting officers. And all of that kind of adds up to a much stronger mid-game for AXR.
It's just trees. Whoa, this is like a waste of time.
This is such a waste, you know? You could definitely uncap A.
The 3 scouts, man. 3 scouts.
Right, now that seems like a waste of time. The reason I'm trying to free up that munitions point is right now we have no credit income.
So here
So
definitely is a challenge.
you'll see we've got the reversal of the first game. We don't have any of those supply points. So we don't have weapon credits to resupply ourselves quickly. We lose a fight and we're spending ages trying to re-equip. The reason I'm there doing that is because the only thing I could afford was a grenade launcher.
A Hunter and Thunder engaging C.
That cap is entirely to support my entire team getting weapon credits coming in so we can rearm and fight.
Taking down. Oh, IV. The Rooks are taking a beating. Sam is down.
Ooh, well played by Orange dodging that,
Sam is
jeez.
dead.
It is a shame that IFVs are not very good.
EMP2 officers, that's pretty big.
See, this is the weird irony is, like, IFVs need vehicle upgrades to be effective.
Like, Eagle down,
But-
3 officers down.
Why would you invest in upgrading IFVs when you can just go for a bigger, better vehicle?
Fiving. Oh, yeah, now the Iron Guard drop.
Like, there's just no point.
I think, like...
You are better off investing in a 10k HP vehicle than bothering with an IFV.
Oh, the
IFVs can be very powerful in groups, though. If you run about 2 or 3 of them, they can be quite overwhelming. But they're still so vulnerable. It's not worth it. It's so easy to just lose them all.
Oh, but yeah, they have empty
Echelons,
two guard
very
troopers,
solid
but it's
option,
nothing
very
that they can
cheap.
take.
For what they can do and how long they typically last, really, having an Echelon or 2 is almost always
Maybe
worth it.
game 4. 5.
ticks out, game over. 1 second, let me have a look at the match situation near the end there. So yeah, Dozer is protecting A and there's forces on there. There is no way I personally am going to be able to push in on that and buy time. B is fully like locked down by Hunter and Anchor right now. And then you've got Thunder down here. After that previous team fight, which we lost at B, we didn't have the weapon credits to rearm and go in for another solid strike, so you had lots of weakened strikes. That's why I went off to get a munitions point. But again, it's already too late for the most part. The support crawler really didn't have an impact. Earlier it could have, but it was unnecessary. The real benefit of a support crawler is if you are behind on weapon credits, you are making up for that deficit. Yes, solid defensive play by H-Bomb, setting up on B. Good work by Dozer, keeping this flank secured. Because you think about having Dozer over there, keeping me in check, meant Thunder's not wasting his time running all the way over to a far flank for frickin' me. Like, it's just a much better play overall. Thunder is where he should be, pushing C and pressuring the resources. Do I think there could have been a comeback? Yes. If we could have held C, or if we could have got decapped by time, with this wave coming in, with the M33 arriving, the 2 Guardians, the fact of the matter is that there's not enough time for those to get to the field and have an impact. If this game were going on a minute longer, there's the opportunity for them to come into play and we start resecuring our position. But, you know, again, well played by them, getting all 3 points locked down, making sure that the tier 3 wave just cannot have impact. I suppose that's also a point against the Echelon team, but I'm pretty sure that's the tier 2 reinforcement one. So it being there is not a loss in any way, shape or form, and they've been more than valuable enough. What needed to be different? I feel like, personally, my biggest mistake is I went over and tried to do the same thing I did from game 1.
So, it will be a game 4.
Again, I do think changing it up each match was to our benefit. Because we tried playing it the exact same, they played to counter it. And we let them have that. We let them see, go, oh look, it's game 1 again. We don't want to lose again, we're going to change it up. And they did. And it shows. So yeah.
I think this is a very good play by the commander himself. H-Bomb did amazing.
They just did much better map control.
I can't really see that one factor.
This is end of game 3. So it's currently 2-1 to EDPA.
Really push that aggressively whenever there's a chance. Like for example, so many times A was open, you know, they were just sitting back and chilling.
So I'm going to be right back. In the meantime, I'll let you.
Just look at Thunderbolts, just Thunder,
I'll
just
be
like
back in
demolishing officers, like he's eating them for breakfast.
Yeah, I feel that this is partly because, not so much the shooting skill, but because so many times they were fighting together with Iron Guts, right? And that kind of helped them to really do a lot of things. Okay, so we will take a 3-minute break. This is a... What is the score now? Is it a 2-1?
It's a 2-1, yes.
Yep, 2-1. So we will be seeing a round 4. Round 4 next one.
let's get on to game 4. We're not going to do it that way.
This one,
there we go.
need to win this match.
And
Round
over
five,
central.
So the map ban has been done, right, Rico? Will that be a faction swap?
So important consideration here.
Let's see.
We are going into game 4.
Okay, so the faction
If
seems
EDPA
correct, right?
get one more win, it's over. They're the winners. Victors of the whole
so the
tournament.
map has been done. We are going
Definitely
to
favourites to do it.
EDPA will be playing against Eximius
Mostly thanks to the
again.
reputation of
Well,
Thunder
will be
and
against
Mighty
GSF.
Toast.
So this 2-1 break,
But
let
the
me
rest of
check
their team
the
isn't
ready.
anything to be sniffed at either. Satan, on the other hand, like I think they're just held back by one player. But otherwise, the team's really solid. Really, really strong team overall. Only really one person lets it down.
Okay.
Also, credit to them. You've got to keep in mind, so they've been up until like 2 a.m. their time, the previous night, to play their semis.
This is round 4.
And then they're playing this, and what, this is already like 11
Okay, I
o'clock
can't wait to see how this is gonna go.
at night for them. Like, madmen. Absolute madmen.
Vic, what do you think the division is gonna be?
What I think the division would be, yeah. What I think the
robotics
division
again?
would be, yeah. Well, an always a solid pick would be infantry versus
So,
robotics.
central.
Like that's just cheap
change.
cop out.
There we
But I'm going to be daring. I'm going to say energy versus fortification.
go. Energy, really?
I have zero reason to say that, but I just want to
Energy
say like a
versus
controversial statement.
Oh.
Fortification.
We're seeing fortification. No, it's not. It's never gonna be an energy.
Jeremy's spot on with
plays
that. It's never going to be
If
fucking
they play
energy.
I'm gonna go man. No, it's not happening, bro.
I'm
It's gonna be robotics versus fortification. Wait, fortification from Team Satan? That's crazy. I've never seen them play fortification before. I've never seen them play anything other than infantry and armor.
Fortification is legit. Now that they've buffed the armories, the bonus that fortification gets is more
No,
impactful.
it's not gonna be energy.
So, fortification's solid. Especially on central.
No, robotics. It's gonna be robotics. I don't think they want to.
energy.
It does have
I'm
to be
just going stick with
robotics.
energy. I'm going to stick with my
Robotics.
guts.
It's gonna be robotics. Just watch.
Yeah, classic. Come on. They're keeping it like.
Any big standouts so far? I mean, as far as the officers, I would say the best on either side is generally China under the Venom call sign and Thunder under the Thunder call sign.
We shall see.
However, my personal MVP for the finals is still Orange.
I could have said another cup of tea. That's.
Oh wow, this is suspense. They must be like,
Hey Moose,
Stab robotics. Oh, energy.
big standout. So again, big standouts for me is I feel like
Robotics.
while I'm not useless to my team, I still find it frustrating the fact that I know I can't really provide the kind of FPS support that my team would appreciate. Should we go with that? I can help, but it's nowhere near the kind of headshotting dominance that you see from the rest of my team.
Yeah, so we're central though.
You got to keep in mind, like, Orange outshoots me.
Yep. Classic, right?
So
Classic brawl fest.
He's gonna be classic.
Yeah.
Let's see what's gonna happen. We have never seen.
but like I say, my personal MVP for the whole finals is Orange.
These two teams.
Like, commanding.
I'm just looking forward to fortification, like
What
how
the
they're going to play this.
Hey, we're seeing scouts here on energy and Ginny on energy. Both of them reach exactly at the same time. We're seeing both teams going in straight to B. Thunder, Beetle, Dozer now at B. Eagle and Delta is going to B now. Venom is taking from far away.
That may be Orangepest. Maybe you have transcended an R&D day god gamer. Again, in my book, you are the best commander in the game at this point. The fact that you are commanding to a strong level and then also being an officer whenever you get chance is huge. And that small amount of time you spend as an officer makes a huge difference.
They're really serious.
There's a long range to gauge.
Like, the nearest you get is when Jeremy plays, because Jeremy likes to combat comp. But it's not on the same level because you have far more of the tactical awareness, where you don't get caught out in the same ways. You actively are there for big team fights and change them in your favor.
Eagle down.
Jeremy, again, like, is the only person I know who really tries to do it. But I fully understand the fact that being able to go ahead and outshoot someone like Thunder or whatever isn't going to happen, you know?
Venom is just a world of pain. Whoa, all those shots.
Very careful. They could actually just shoot through the hole and kill him. These are some pretty accurate guys.
Again, like, it's the level of accuracy you see here. Like, normal players can't shoot through those little gaps reliably. And yet here it's like you have to seriously respect the aim of the people you're up against.
Really, really pissed.
He took on Thunder. Ooh, nice trade.
Yeah.
Jason, dude.
Venom has no health and is still going in for the
I am not aware of the Jason, dude.
Dozer is now capping the resources.
He's harassing, yeah, Dozer is just going down. Like, no way he could come out alive with that.
Hunter is holding A. I think they'll definitely have B now, so they start taking down on them. The points are very, very close. 4, 7, 6, 4.
Common mistakes. So, game 1, the big mistake that EDPA make is that they presume they're fighting M33s. They don't look for any of the reads or tells before going for Sigmas, right? They're just like, there's going to be M33s, we're rushing Sigmas. And it means that they waste like 50 pop cap on 2 Sigmas, which don't do anything all game. Giving Satan a massive advantage. So again, like, making that kind of presumption, although it's like an educated guess, like, it's legitimate to think that way, you should always be looking for those reads first. You should be looking for evidence that that's what you're up against. The next big one, so game 2 I feel like was just an honest game, which was just, there were definitely some moments which swung it in EDPA's favour, but overall, you know, EDPA were ahead. So,
no, you cannot cap
perfect decap there. Game 3, the issue was, I'm not going to accuse the rest of my team of doing it. We basically tried to play Game 3 the exact same we played Game 1, right? We just said to ourselves, oh yeah, you know, we'll play Game 1 again and win. And the point is, EDPA are like, we're not repeating that game. And so they've actually changed it up. They went over to robotics. They played it differently. They had Dozer lockdown, where I was doing all my PvE work, just killing H-bombs units and being a pain in the ass. And that meant you didn't have Thunder running across the map to come and try and kill me. Well, no, not try and come over to the other side of the map to kill me, when he had other more important shit to do. So game 3, they have much better map control. I don't have the kind of freedom to do what I want to do, and EDPA takes it. Now, this game, we got Fortification up against Robotics. Now, on that note, I wish to point out at this point with the changes, all 3 divisions for GSF are viable. They all have powerful ways they can be used and played. They've got unique aspects which are worth deploying for in, you know, various situations. As far as I'm concerned with Axeron, Robotics is the best choice 90% of the time. You have options across the entire board. You have mules that can capture. You have access to Iron Guard cores. You have access to Templars. You have access to just this whole plethora. Like, just, you get better Iron Guards. Why does only Robotics get bonuses to its Iron Guards? Like, all of them need to use Iron Guards. Come on, man. So yeah, Robotics is just the go-to choice. Stealth is valid, but the problem is stealth is less viable the higher the skill level of your opponents. How would I rebalance them? So, one, you need to make the decision whether Robotics is too strong, or that is the level that all 3 divisions need to be on. If you consider robotics to be the right place, then it is just a case of giving bonuses to the other two divisions that buff relevant tools. So what if Stealth said, well actually, Stealth is the infantry-focused division. So you actually throw in some bonuses to some of the infantry. And then you look at energy and it's like, what does energy need? Because at the moment, energy's got this weird focus on late game. So it's got two different late game tools. One is a vehicle, one is an Iron Guard. And then it's got a buffed defense. The problem is, there's no synergy there. The buffed defense you don't want to use if you're teching, because it eats your energy income. So you either all in on the ocular defenses, or you don't build any. No. Just no. So there needs to be something else there to kind of complement the rest. I know that they're looking at giving energy, like the overloading, better mechanics, so it's more favourable and not a detriment. You're not blowing up your own buildings.
Oh yeah, you see the Iron Guard mass production coming in.
Also, sorry, I've not been paying attention to what's going on here. Let's focus back on this. So situated right now, Axon over overall control, hitting that south munitions point. Oh, reclaiming their south munitions point. It's actually relatively easy. It's just B is in Axon's favour, although they do keep hitting here with the Iron Guards. As far as plays, so yeah, I'm just playing harassment, so you can see me running at the energy point right now. I'm getting completely collapsed in on. I already realise this. I'm dead. I'm just trying to be a pest. It's like, okay, come and get me.
8 minutes. The Iron Guard calls now 8 minutes. Pretty fast. And it's not like
Iron Guard calls Peñas.
This is really bad.
Yeah, I'm down now.
I think. Yes, and an Iron Guard drop in the back line. At B.
Yeah, I'm
So, the common conception here is that this map favours Axron because you've got shockwaves for the middle. You've got Iron Guards to hold the middle. Ha 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 ha. No, I'm definitely not an orange pest. I'm more of a, beige pest. Lot of damage on those. So if you are going to use Iron Guard drops, you have to be in the habit of being there when they actually drop to split them. Otherwise the amount of damage is just huge. No, that's the right play by Venom there. Not getting distracted by that and instead focusing on... Come on, pick him up! Oh! Oh, that's a shame. Okay, he was just a bit too distracted. Fair. The hell am I doing?
Everybody just went Ace Vanguard.
Yeah. Everyone did go Ace Vanguard, and it was the right call.
All Ace again. They should be having like one exploit. You can capture the beat point from the balcony. Just keep it uncapped, like... okay, this case it's uncapped.
Also, think of it like this. So, on Central, do you need an exploit? Because on Central, you're not worried about vehicles so much, so you don't need an exploit to hack vehicles. You're not worried about repair drones, because again, that's really for vehicles. So, again, don't need the exploit for that. And unless they're playing as stealth, you don't need it to remove the drones. So, you can all in with just aces. That being said, we do have one exploit just in case. It does give you that little bit of extra control, and it means you can decap a victory point from range, which is highly valuable. So here comes the Iron Guard core push in.
G rounds played against Big Performance in the tournament.
Oh, yeah. You see them raining down from the barracks there?
Yeah.
Not the best view here. If anyone wonders why you don't see many phalanxes in this level of play, it is because they get MRPG'd very quickly. Why do Iron Guard cores do more damage? Is that ever explained? Could have sworn they've got more damage than regular Iron Guards in a faster. I could have sworn you checked and it was like they're doing higher damage than regular Iron Guards.
Its cost push are so aggressive.
I could be wrong. Ignore me. It's just where they're speedy boys, so they get their guns on you that much quicker. And there's 10 of them.
Wow, it's a
They
fight
used to
going
do
down.
less.
They're
Good
going
grief.
straight for their turret. Oh, looks like Delta managed to take down Thunder. He's trying to hurt their barracks. They have A and C, however, now. They're going to be forcing a split. So the thing about the Eximius Force here, if you notice, Big, is that they're all concentrated here, right? And all their cores as well. So if you force them to split, then GSF is going to start to have a strong advantage.
Yep, the NC split.
He's going for that stack round. He's going for the double
It's important to
shot.
keep in mind that on this
He's
map,
really
A and C are
held.
not equal locations.
Can't cap it anymore.
C is much more
Running
defensible
all these
than
four ace
A
nonsense,
is.
and if you go for like one exploit, oh, here comes the
Wow,
fire.
to actually see a Hellspawn with Orange in command is just very strange, and just completely wipe all of those Iron Guard cores immediately.
Pretty quick right now.
Disgusting.
Lost A, lost C.
Right, this is probably the big mistake that EDPA make. They go Templar. So, something to keep in mind. Orange is running 3 echelons. And
Whoa, what is this? Yeah, this is what I've been talking about, right? Hellspawn being able to rain hell on it.
that's definitely something we need to look at taking better advantage of. But yeah, so Templar's main issue is the sheer fact that they're how to put it, they're soft, they're squishy. For an Iron Guard type unit, they do not have much health. And the way they got away with it previously is the fact that when they went down, they had to be completely killed within a set time, otherwise they got back up. Now, with the change to being that they need to actually fill their health bar to get up, and being shot slows that down, it's much easier to clear Templars now, which I do feel is how it should be. But it means that Templars go from being borderline immortal to being very quick and easy to clear. And they're very expensive. Do I think it's right where they are currently? Yes. The reason is that as they currently are, you have to use them with a good Aegis officer who is going to look after them and keep them alive. You can't just throw them into combat. You can't just use them as a hammer. They have to be used as a sort of raider unit, and you should only really, at most, get 4 of them.
I don't know how they're gonna crack B because these mortars are so scary. They have like 1, 2, 3, 4 with stack rounds.
Yeah.
This means
So
8 rounds. They cannot even stop moving, you know? However, they will go, oh,
really, the
this is
play
preemptive
at the
artillery
moment for
firing and
Axeron
nothing because,
is
like,
to get up on C and eliminate the echelons. The other thing to keep in mind is you might say, oh, well, they're not going to know where the echelons are. The commander can spot where the fire is, like, where the fire effect from the echelons is. So right now, H-Bomb should be like, okay, there's echelons, I need to find out where they are and tell my team. Because the sooner you find them, the sooner you can get an MRPG clearing them out.
The Omicron is trying to take down the
It's on
Hellspawn.
fire. Hellspawn just get out by
Is this Phalanx? Is this Phalanx deployed as a cannon?
That Omicron wants that Hellspawn.
Oh, he's deployed as a cannon. He has a double
Yeah.
round as well.
Fortification weapon team play is legit. The way you actually play it, though, is that you really will run it as, like, 2 echelons,
more shot.
or 2 or 3 echelons, and then have 1 phalanx crew covering their position,
Oh, it's the Omicron
just so that they
moving
can't
back
just push in and
grenade.
clear the whole thing immediately. You don't use the phalanx crew as an offensive front, or a front
So
line.
need to entrench
You use it
the-
as a back line to cover
basically
where...
mortar crews. Otherwise
where the
they're
echelons
not
can't,
gonna be able to
basically.
make any holds anymore.
Yeah.
Argard's doing work, trying to hit the power.
I'm not sure if I'm
How
shooting
EDPA
the
is going to come
Iron
back
Block
to this because
No, that is the right move.
can they actually? I don't know. Can they actually brute force into this? I don't know.
They can
No,
brute force,
thinking
but
about
of course you cannot
Really,
hold
to
it.
deal with fortification, you want to be
Yeah,
hitting the
that's
cache.
So
no
much
problem.
damage. The mortars are doing so much damage.
Yeah.
How are they going to brute force this?
So,
No, so that you can capture,
yeah.
like you can capture it.
I think mortars will clear an Iron Guard core in 2
They're not going
shots,
to keep it.
to give you some idea how much damage they do.
Keep the point. Like they need to
There's
be.
no way you can stand around here anymore, you know. But here is where they have to do it.
So you can see that these Iron Guard cores get absolutely annihilated. Their low durability is a serious detriment suddenly.
Thunder is going for the fight, but
Really, the way you want to play it is, if you're going to push through Echelon Fire, you want Rooks,
Hellspawn is getting
and you want Aegis to keep pairing them, so that they stay healthy. You can't afford these lower health bodies. It's the same issue that the Templars have. I don't even think we've seen the one Templar that's been built.
Yes.
Wait, are you gonna actually prove me wrong?
This seems like a misplay. Yeah, again, that Phalanx is there just gunning them down. And if the Hellspawn becomes active, it'll clear all of these almost immediately.
Oh, but it's driving out. That could be his downside. Yeah, Automator.
Nice one by Thunder to punch it in the face. Finishing off that Hellspawn. Good play. The problem is that they've just focused everything on the Hellspawn when they actually need to be focusing on the Echelons.
We do not know where it's gonna swing to. This is very
So it is a misplay.
A is unguarded, but it's too far out because
The Flamer is always bugged, let's be honest.
Guardian Trooper is getting mazered down by Hunter.
Good use of the EMPs in this. EDPA have been on point, keeping anything they can EMP'd, which is definitely the way to play it. But again, it's just the fact that the Echelons are not being harassed. So those 3 Echelons have gotten so much value. And I'm just there like being a pest. I'm holding C and hitting their munitions constantly. That's my job. That is what I exist to do. See, Bongo doesn't need. I should say Orangepest. Orangepest doesn't need other officers. He'll just deal with himself.
EMP just killed off Delta and Venom. They gotta run. They gotta get out. They cannot afford to lose all of this.
Ooh, will they? This is interesting because if they can actually push in here, they can do a lot of damage. But in the meantime, they're getting mortared to all
I
heck.
think Delta doesn't need to take this fight.
So Delta and Venom holding this at the moment is super important.
Taking on the barracks.
They're going for the barracks.
Does Orange?
But what if they do an Iron Guard drop on it? Just yeet an Iron Guard drop.
Iron Guard drop would work. There's a blind spot for the base defenses right there at the front. So you could actually drop in behind the barracks in between the base wall, and they've got no protection from the base defenses.
But it's even more an endless wave of mortars. Streaming down from above.
I do agree. Long range G12 sniping would be the best way of clearing that barracks. But EDPA has a pretty strong preference for the Mazer.
There's so much fight going on. This is a crazy match. It's 2-8 to 2-5-3. Now the favor just swing back to EDPA, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, EDPA has done the right thing, I think. Securing A in their favour is probably the right move. But B is so problematic for them to hold with those echelons there.
Yeah, they have more energy on the Eximius side. But you're getting iron is now firing in them. Hellspawn as well. More Hellspawn is coming in. Hellspawn is trying to block fire from this distance. We've got Templars as well. Everything. Throwing everything in the kitchen sink.
Has H-Bomb started deploying those Templars yet or not? I think it's just Iron Guard Claws again. Yeah, Iron Guard Claws. H-Bomb should have realised that the Iron Guard Claws weren't working. They were dying too quickly. Look, I presume that's Toast with the Hyperion. Yeah, Toast with the Hyperion. He's a big fan of it. He's very cautious with it, so he only uses the bombardment when he can get away with it. But at the same time, then, like, is it really worth him limiting himself to that suit?
Not really though. GSF's economy is not hurting. Rhino her chat says
Yeah, so you saw a Templar there just get deleted by the Echelon fire. It's just not the right call. Here we go. This is that gap I told you about. Like, right here, there's no base defenses covering this. But, yes, they got the barracks down, but the Echelons live. Echelons live. And that's the problem. They put everything into killing that barracks, and they haven't cleared the Echelons. And you got to keep in mind that you can clear all of those Echelons with 2 or 3 cluster MRPG shots. It's just the fact that it needs to be straight away. You can't pick off crew members. You need to clear the whole crew.
Hunter has got taken down. The Hunter got taken down by who? Maginator. Oh,
They're taking B.
Good work on EDPA. They've given up on running all the way down to the southeast to get their supplies, and instead grabbed our natural. But at the same time, they didn't grab the power. I don't know if that's intentional, if they're working on it. Oh, there's a field support there.
They're not out. Like they are still they have point lead. They're flying in another barracks, but it could swing either way still. Like
yeah.
Same income, same nearly the exact same income actually. Like only 2 energy is different and 2 cash.
Yep.
So
Hunter is going for the.
yeah, for me, the big problem here is those echelons have been allowed to do too much damage, and H-Bomb has invested in relatively squishy units to fight it. He keeps sending out Iron Guard cores, expecting a different result, and it's a mistake. They are taking far too much AoE damage, and they are dying far too quickly to have value. He should really be deploying rooks, and trying to do a combined sort of Aegis rook push. Good work on Dozer going on C, by the way. Getting that capped is huge. Because again, you've got to keep in mind, EDPA is ahead on VPs. And C is a really strong location for them. If they can actually get up to onto C and hold it, they can actually snipe all of the GSF position there. They can clear out the echelons, they can deal with the barracks, and it forces Orange to turn his echelons towards C to deal with it.
I'm so used to seeing infantry that the one time I predict fortification right, and I'm completely caught off guard. Oh yeah, Phalanx being kept. A is being kept.
Orangepest back capping with an engineer up on A. Oh, this fight, yeah. I am not sure what they were thinking. I was able to just chuck grenades into them, trying to push up. So the way they were playing this is Dozer is just there, keeping Hunter topped up with shields. So I was just trying to push Dozer off by keep chucking grenades at him rather than at Hunter.
They're not forcing their force to split.
Yeah, Thunder should be capping. Okay, he just, as I say, he goes. A is being.
Alright, yeah, they're just trying to deny the cap.
It's amazing to see how
Pretty sure I just back off of this. I realise I'm not going to be able to deal with them.
Oh, Fossil is just. Yeah, A is going straight back. Hunter's down. Make it rain.
Yeah. Again, those echelons are just absolutely wreaking havoc. And again, although there's 5 Templars, they're again squishy, not particularly durable. Team moves up to support me.
I appreciate this. This is like a
Hellspawn comes down and cuts off Hunter's escape. Pretty sure they both go down there. Yeah, Dozer's already down. Hunter is taking damage, but does he get away? I don't think he does. No, I'm pretty sure he makes a run for it and runs down the far east flank of the... Yeah, he just legs it. We focus on capping C. Yeah, so H-Bomb is finally clearing out some of these echelons. But again, it's not really enough. I feel like what should have been going on is some of... All this force, which H-Bomb's flooding into mid, should have been taken to the south to help Hunter and Dozer. They take C, and then Hunter and Dozer can clear all of those units out without having to put themselves at as much risk. That should have been the play. Templars, Iron Guard cores are the wrong play. It is such a huge mistake against the echelons. Orangepest goes up to 4 echelons now. It's like, they've worked so far, may as well get more.
Oh, the M33 went down?
Ooh, that sucks though. He's one pop short of being able to put... Oh no, he's now able to get another Hellspawn, which I actually kind of hope he queues, but no, it looks like he's going for a 5th echelon.
He just uses the flank here.
Ooh.
He just doesn't care. They auto-repair.
Is there enough echelon for you?
Oh, he's going for Sigma. He's had enough.
Yeah, probably the right call as well. The AoE actually goes through the weapon as well, so even if it shoots the mortar thing that the echelons use, it'll still kill the guy manning it.
I think Sigma is for the barracks, probably.
This is the... Yeah, immediately you're like, Orangepest, yeah, we should flank and deal with it that way. The issue is, H-Bomb is trying to engage in a front-on fight against those mortars. That said, they're now also covering the south, so, I think the echelons are reaching critical mass now. Yeah, so Orange now has 265 pop in use. And I can tell you, that's going to be a nightmare to shift.
So much Marines. But what is this going to do?
Why is there a Sigma?
This to stop the Hellspawn from coming in?
Why is there a Sigma? What?
The next power wave coming.
H-Bomb, you drunk. Go home.
Is coming.
No. I can only presume that's a misclick, but that's a hell of a misclick.
The next power wave is coming, yep.
No, you don't need it for Hellspawn.
Wow. Wow, they're PD packing now. They're PD packing now.
Get an Omicron and use the weapon
This is it.
boost for it, and it'll take a Hellspawn. Straight up. Not even kidding.
They're just putting down
Hellspawns don't do enough damage. Like, their AT damage is pretty poor. And now Orange is all like, well, I got all these resources, time to put them to use. PDs.
I feel like this barracks is the
And a frontline barracks, because why not? Yeah, it's the right move.
Yeah. How are you going to destroy this? You put a phalanx here facing down here, and the phalanx get topped up every time you kill a man. But how are you going to kill it, right?
Yeah, I think it's the end now. There's no way. There's just so many. So those echelons at this point have got stacked rounds. So each of them's firing 2 rounds at a time. So 10 mortar rounds are dropping from the sky every time they fire.
Okay, this is insane. This is insane.
Yeah. You should capitalize on Sigma more though.
It's just, yeah. Really, EDPA needed to respect those echelons and fight them. And H-Bomb needed to not engage in a meat grinder. And I realise he's still got loads of resources. Like, the problem is not that he can't afford to do these attacks, it's just they're not effective. They're not working. He can keep throwing these in and they'll still achieve nothing. Like, I'm waiting for the mortar rounds to just come raining in and most of these Iron Guard cores to just die. Good play going into the tents. Problem is, grenade launchers have enough aim. Oh no. Please. No. That was a nice Iron Guard core blob. Rip. Rip. And that's why you stop doing this. It's not effective. Stop it. Stop it. Get some.
I've never seen so much bombardment going on here.
So, if you wanted to push in on that, right, it has to be Iron Guards. Has to be. You need that 10k HP pool. You push in with those, you have 2 officers who are on Aegis, and their whole job is to just keep repairing them through the mortar barrages. Meanwhile, your other 2 officers need to be going and killing those goddamn echelons, because they will destroy you.
I feel like they should continue to drop here and double down on wrecking on all the mortars.
Wait, you're telling me... Jeremy, what's the time for you right now? How late is it for you?
Or even crazier.
Fab, what are you doing up?
No, like they're doing now. They're doing a
I mean, I appreciate having you here. But you should be sleeping, man.
I cannot see this, but actually you could use this to actually block the vision.
I love you, Jeremy, but you should go and get some sleep.
It's very dangerous. The commander cannot
Good
see
grief.
this one, cannot
Okay.
micromanage it.
But damn.
So, yeah, this is one of the things where I feel
But yeah,
spectators should be
like...
able to see. Whoa! Sigma is paying off for itself now.
I mean, it's nice. It is keeping the M33 in check. Good use of the shield. H-bomb on top of that. But the problem is, it can't do the important job. It can't attack. It can't push through this situation.
Yeah, but
So it will prevent the M33 coming around that corner, but the M33 prevents it coming around the corner either. And the problem is with the M33 is it's denying EDPA access to C. They can't attack C. So, no, you've got to think that M33 is protecting C and the echelons are protecting everything else that's important. EDPA are on track to be bled out, and their only option is that they need to push through round A and come in from the north, and then they've got to see if they can actually reach those echelons, or at least pull away GSF forces so they can make a push on the front.
Are they going to flank from here?
But 10... H-bomb, you're giving me depression. Like, all these Iron Guard cores, all these Templars, and the lack of realization you're throwing the softest Iron Guards at the hardest counter they have to deal with. AoE, long-range damage. Ah. That said, now the Guardians are here. There's 3 Guardian Troopers as well, so that then counts as Rooks at this point. Jesus. Yeah, so Templars, as you can see right now, completely bloody useless. The Omicron light tank tried. But yeah, it was never going to stand a chance against M33.
Wow, this is it. This is the game worthy of finals.
Fortified, no way to break through. It's just as they say, fortified.
So, for anyone wondering how you don't let this happen, as the commander, you will look around the battlefield. You will see where that explosion effect comes up for the echelon teams firing. So you're listening for the sound and the spark of fire coming up, firing skyward, and you're telling your team, echelons are there. Kill those echelons. I need them dead. It does. You've got to keep in mind, Jeremy, like, those echelons are covering 2 VPs. They're putting constant damage across the entire middle of the field at this point, right? So, essentially anything just north of B and then south of that is covered by those echelons. And anything in that kill zone gets bombed like that, alright? You don't live for long in that. What do you mean scan with recon? I mean, why would you do that? That costs resources. You don't need to, you just need to find where the flares are coming from when they fire. Like, a commander can do that for free. You don't even need to drop the recon. You can identify where that fire is coming from, ping it, and tell your officers to get over there, clear it.
They have less, they spend actually less, and they kill way more.
Yeah.
Look at the total damage dealt. This is crazy.
That is the efficiency of echelons if they are not put to the sword as soon as you get the chance.
Wow.
So, if it listed like how much damage the faction had done, like the AI units, good grief, the echelons would look disgusting.
More time, 10 minutes.
What happened?
I can breathe a bit.
What happened to my lobby?
So,
Lobby just broke.
yeah.
So epic.
Shall we get in 10 minutes?
Sure, we
Not
had 10 minutes for the
total
last one.
damage.
We just... They spend actually less and...
So total damage done. So yeah, 562 million to my... Oh wait, no. 562,817.875. Yeah, I get it now. But yeah, more than double. And almost all of that, like, most of that is going to come from those echelons. you think about that disparity. Like, we're getting on for triple the damage, and like I say, more than half of that, I'd say 3/4 of that is probably just the echelons. Just the echelons. You cannot let them live. Yeah.
They kill way more. Look at the total damage dealt. This is crazy. This is really GSF being the most efficient.
Officers wise,
So this is a great play. We will have a 5-minute break before I move on to the last.
so the final match.
Give them a bit more time, 10 minutes.
So what
They
happened?
can breathe a bit.
What happened to my lobby?
Right about there. Close enough. But yeah. It's important to keep in mind that echelons are pop cap efficient, damage efficient, and have massive range. The only way that you, like, really, the benefit of dealing with them is that they are very easy to pick off if you focus them. Fortification does kind of undermine that, because like I say, you've got to clear the whole squad in one go, but Cluster MRPG gives you that answer. Why they focused on the barracks first, I think it was just because they're like, oh, well, we can't clear 3 squads before they get reinforced, so we may as well kill the barracks first. And I think it's the wrong call. 2 officers with Cluster MRPGs could have cleared all of that in 2 volleys.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. The grand finals round 5. The score is now 2.
So this is pretty madness. You've got to keep in mind, so Downtown has been picked 3 times. Game 1 and Game 3. With those being identical. Now for Game 5, Downtown again, but faction switch. Now, frankly, I'm of the opinion that that really favours EDPA. I would expect them to go... Yeah, I would expect them to go armor in this situation, because it, again, is the smart move. Please see how Orangepest gamed 8-bomb in Game 1. But it's entirely possible it ends up being a case of, hey, we'll just swap roles.
So this is like the first time they will be playing as Eximius in Downtown. So let's go straight to the mission. So what do you think of the map just now?
I'm pretty sure, as I recall, EDPA do run infantry on this. Pretty sure. They're just like, well, it worked for them Game 1. We may as well do that.
Orangepest or Satan will be looking to give EDPA their own taste, their own medicine, going robotics and Iron God cores. Really strong. Yeah.
That's
really. I think that H-Bomb is going to look more for a conservative play by going armor division.
I think it's going to go armor. I have no idea why Orange doesn't go for armor in Downtown, but he may have more confidence in playing infantry. But I feel strongly that H-Bomb will definitely go for armor and going for his classic tank build. But we will see how it goes.
What do you think is going to come up?
Tank build, but we will see how it goes.
What do you think is going to come up?
It's going to be robotics versus armor, and I'm going to see. I feel that we're going to see armor going to A. This is my prediction, right? It's going to be, armor versus robotics, and we're going to see the armor hitting A point, and we're going to see them ignoring B, whereas just targeting for the A and C and the energy. But it could be. The small percentage could be fortifications or more infantry. Okay, that's unbelievable.
Infantry.
It's absolutely wrong. So my prediction is wrong. I think they will try to repeat Team Satan's success, as in like how they defeated them with infantry just now. I mean in the first round, and but again during the rematch they kind of fought back and win, right? So I can't really say the advantage.
Like, is it a mistake to try and duplicate your opponent's success in the same series? Maybe. I do... I kind of agree with what Jeremy and Picky said. Like, armor does feel like the right play. It gives you a much stronger late game. The difference between this and Crossing, though, is that the Sigmas have a lot more room to work here. They've got much better firing avenues to work from. So the M33s don't have the kind of locations they can set up in and have the amount of influence that they do on crossing without being at threat of being hit by a Sigma.
We have seen 3 power reactor right away.
That is an interesting play. They're going for a long game then.
Yeah, definitely a long game. Power reactor.
Okay.
I guess power reactor is pretty standard, but right straight for it, the 4 mule, that's pretty aggressive. Wow.
So is Thunder here alone? No, he's got the rest of the team there with him. He's just the alone.
The Marine is,
All the demolishers get picked off. I get picked off by Hunter here, as I recall. Yeah.
That was Eagle down.
Oh.
Oh, that was Eagle
Yeah.
down. Oh, Venom low, Venom low.
As well. Might be able to take
Delta
Yeah.
down, Delta down. Venom still up, Venom still up. Venom down. Oh, this is
So this is really the strength of the south position hitting B, is you've got all these different stairs to come up, whereas Axon is coming purely down from the north. It's one angle they have to cover. Flanking is very awkward.
Stop mule abuse.
Yeah, Mule goes down as well. So like, that's a huge loss for us at the beginning. Huge. The Mule in particular is probably the biggest loss there.
Trying to steal the supplies from them. I think they must have been trying to guess their division by now. Because bear in mind, both sides do not know what the other side is going for. So Team Satan need to kind of predict if they're going for armor, then they need to either go straight to Sigma, or if they go for infantry, then they need to play with something else, you know. But there's no clear indicators, then they need to be very careful with what they're building.
So yeah, Dozer is again off to one flank.
See a very aggressive player. So they lost their first mule, right?
Why am I running like a complete madman? What?
Lost, yeah.
I suppose if I get shot and downed first, that's probably better than some important getting shot.
Another engagement happening at B.
Another one coming
Ooh,
down now.
2 versus.
Oh wait, I must have a shockwave.
Eagle, Delta now fighting 100.
Oh, grenades. The grenades. Oh, Eagle low.
Yes, I have a shockwave. That's why I'm running out
Hunter
like a
taking-
nutter.
Oh, Hunter got shockwaved. Fossil is low, but not down. Hunter's not going to get revived. Thunder 1 versus 4. Yeah, that's.
Got him.
Hey,
Dear.
Subatomic Monk says go go go. Fanantak says go go. Wow, Team Satan has a lot of fans now. Fossil is now capping. Eagle is now capping. Team Satan is
There
having
we
the
go.
advantage here a little bit. It's 42, 42, neck to neck. It's still
Yeah.
very close.
Shockwave, the great equalizer, you know?
And the points start ticking down on EDPA.
Enemy can't shoot you in
I
the
don't see
head
that
if he can't see your head.
If anything at this point of time. C is gonna get flipped. Oh, they just triple capped them.
That's going to hurt.
Nice.
That's going to hurt.
And in the meantime, Orange has been on top of his caps and he's managed to cap all those other locations as well. Huge resource advantage.
So they're lucky to even have the energy back.
It doesn't quite make up for losing that mule early on, but it's pretty good. If we can get the armory on that cash point, that's probably what I'd be aiming for. But yeah,
Ooh, the mule. Nice at B location.
but you've got to appreciate how much Orange invests in the officers as well, like making sure his team has access to a
They're all
mule.
suited up. We
And
only
it does
have
cost him
those
his
in
eco,
the
it does
suit.
cost him his options. But again, like supplying China Lakrits and Muggis with weaponry is huge. Ooh,
Oh, but one is got taken
Venom
down. Someone got taken
immediately
down.
down
Venom is
by...
taken down.
It's coming from the back. Oh, they're zapping each other,
Oh.
they're picking each other.
Ah, right, yeah,
Wow,
flank from
that is a
Hunter
great
now.
play.
Hunter's down.
Hell, even I'm in a freaking Aegis.
Not sure why Thunder didn't revive, but should be a reason. Oof. And losing this early engagement, that really hurt.
Yeah.
So the question, oof, Thunder goes down. Oh, the Delta down. But he will be picked up, most likely. Eagle chasing Delta. Of Anchor.
Say hello to Ace Directs.
Very, very aggressive push by Team Satan. Going down for Anchor. Anchor is down. Who is Anchor? Anchor is Cammy, right? He's changing call sign
Yeah.
on computer already.
As far as thoughts on the Shockwave, because I realise there are a lot of people who feel the Shockwave is awful. In the way that it's this overpowered, overwhelming, indomitable piece of, you know, OP nonsense. So, the cost of the Shockwave is the fact, again, it has that slow projectile. It has this dead zone point blank. It has...
I saw the energy.
like damage loss when it's fired through terrain. It has deflection when it's fired through terrain.
But in terms of cash,
But again, it gives you an option which,
But they all have
frankly,
armored logistics, so
GSF
I
doesn't have, and that is the ability to pressure the other side of walls.
all 3 techs coming in right away.
But I've also had arguments with people about the notion that, GSF doesn't have an equivalent. There's nothing that GSF has works that way. The grenade launcher works that way. It's just rather than firing at a piece of terrain, you fire to the side of it. You can still splash damage someone when they are out of view.
Now, I've got upgrades incoming, so
There is the argument there, though, that the cost difference, because the shockwave is only 900, the grenade launcher is 1200.
the upgrade part of GSF
But
is
again,
a bit wrong.
different
They
roles,
decided
different
to go
abilities.
with their-
So the notion that the shockwave is somehow this, there's no equivalence. There's nothing that GSF can bring to the board that can do the same thing. I don't really agree with
Yeah.
it.
Oh, but
There are ways of managing it. What I would like to see at some point is some kind of indicator for grenades, so you can see, you can get an idea of where you're lobbing. Because grenades are very difficult to aim. I mean, I literally just throw all 4 out, because the idea is if one hits, then it's worth it.
Eagle just pop in from the stealth and goes, ta-da!
Any points he did get Delta down, but wasn't able to really cap. Don't know if it was worth it.
We're trying to get that cash point towards extra sides flipped. Thunder coming in from the
That said,
south,
having that
some
munitions
more
on the
marines,
far
some marines, so a whole bunch of marines.
left to the west is definitely helping.
Yeah, they're coming within with a bunch of marines. Like a lot.
Yeah, so the issue you would say is, like fossils up there firing through cover, and there's nothing that GSF would be able to do. So the thing is,
But you have an iron guard.
if Thunder had had a grenade launcher there, he would have been able to shoot at that barricade and push me off of it. Right? He doesn't need to get a direct hit.
Slide of it. Trying to rescue his partner, but the partner just went out barely before he come here.
I like hearing all the grenades going off.
Thunder smart staying in the cloud.
And yes, Scarab Mine's still
Archery guard
overpowered.
taking a beating,
Fight me.
and there's more infantry coming up.
I'm still of the opinion that
So
the
now
Scarab
we're
Mines
getting
should
their
be like the
reinforcements
sentry
even further,
turrets, so they're a targetable thing.
Yeah, finally
So you can just shoot them with a machine gun or something, but they have structure health, so they actually take quite a few hits. That in my opinion, would be better. But
Strategy. Oh, now they got A and B as well, so points are start ticking down in EDPA again. They will be getting their second wave reinforcements shortly.
I'm pretty sure the reason for that is whereas the sentry gun is deployed, the Scarab Mine is thrown out like a mine is. So, ooh,
Delta,
got taken down.
probably saved
surely
by
someone
Venom.
gets Delta. Yeah.
Wow, they are really solidifying B. How the hell are you going to crack this?
All right, yeah. So at this point with B secured,
see
I'm
Anchor
breaking
and
off to work
Thunder
elsewhere,
moving
so
towards
I've
A.
moved over to A to help
Only
secure
forced
that.
to oppose them.
Right. And Orangepest has come to the same conclusion that he must be up against
Fossil seems to be
M33s
playing very well.
and has gotten
He
the Sigma.
Not that I'm implying he hasn't been, but I noticed that he's always able to hold down multiple officers, even very, very good shooters. It's really amazing play. He's using his game knowledge to his advantage. That's really Fossil bringing a trend, Fossil's play by trend bringing out his value. A lot of experience in the game.
All I've got, man.
Hunt
Minds
took
everywhere.
down China.
Yeah.
So Mobby took down China, so B's getting pressured soon. Fossil down. That's a
Down.
cleanup.
Shockwave is not going to help him. Delta is coming to help him. And I'm not sure if
I'm
he-
already down. There's no way. Elite Marines and 2 officers. Oof.
If he goes in.
Oh,
If Thunder a bit more passive, maybe. But no, they were coming in for the kill.
Anchor. Yeah.
Oof. Good iron guards.
Barely. If he would have waited for that iron gun, he would have survived, right? This is what I
Right,
mean
yeah,
by they need to
sometimes
time their strikes. Now EDPA will take A once again, but he has still at
B is
461. Can you
empty.
imagine that?
Yeah, so what I really want to see is just
Heavy
see
push from
Dozer
B.
walking up the stairs and just capping that point with his exploit.
So yeah, grenade launcher to me is the way to go.
The way it is.
So
It just makes me sad.
Hunter doesn't even need to get his shots around the corner. He just needs to hit the corner.
Oh, boom.
and suddenly people need to move off. They can't just sit there and camp you out with a shockwave.
Because now they were lobbing grenade launchers. Oh, he just hacked it. He just hacked it. Brilliant, brilliant,
Okay,
brilliant.
I'm done. I'm done. I can just quit the casting now. I've seen it all. I've seen it all.
You've
I'm
seen the
done.
hacking now. Eagle is coming down. Oh.
So the other thing here is this stairway which GSF come up, you'd say to yourself, oh, but it can be flanked from the east side there. It's not a very good flanking position. You've not got very good cover to work with, and you've not got very good retreat options. So if it goes badly, you're stuck out in the middle of nowhere.
Sure, bro.
Oh, super.
Oh, we have a Sigma coming down from Team Satan. What the Sigma?
This is a good position for the
You know what
Sigma.
the Sigma can do? I keep saying this. You park the Sigma here. You start blowing up the turrets. You're gonna start.
No, you can't push the turrets from here. You'd need to actually move down that aisle. No way you want to do that.
I'm sad. Go for that sniper, right? Sniper really do a lot of help.
The point is, from this position, the only way you can flank that Sigma is to push all the way up this middle road, and then come in front of the enemy base, taking hits from the defences. So you can't sneak in that way. So it's actually a very safe place for a Sigma to go.
Oh, this is dangerous. It's gonna slaughter everything.
Yep, Iron Guard's doing work.
I'm gonna follow this Iron Guard for a while.
What is going on elsewhere? A's been resecured.
B will go back to Team Satan now.
Dozer's down.
They've
Dozer's
got
dead.
an IV now, just park here, supporting.
Yeah,
I forget that
Tier
IFV
2
actually
reinforcement
has a
IFV?
straight to the Iron Guard.
yeah. And they have waterproof reinforcements.
Yeah, if it was moved up just a little bit more, it'd be a bit more useful, but again, still doing good damage. Killing an Iron Guard, that's always worth it. What do I got going on elsewhere? Again, the echelon from the reinforcements.
Where's the Sigma going?
Oh, they're
So,
putting in mass production. They're
EDPA going for
Guardians.
Guardians early. So that means advanced supply yard.
First Iron Guard probably first set of
Do they have the advanced barracks as well?
Guard
They do
will
have an
coming out
advanced
now.
barracks here. So,
Oh, this is
advanced
gonna be
barracks,
good.
advanced
I
supply yard.
expect the
This
Iron
is
Guard
going to
call
be
That's a
place.
big
Straight
investment
to-
power
you know, that's
wise.
not
Do they have
service
level
Iron Guard, bro.
3 armor
You
already?
scared me.
No,
Must
I
do.
think they're researching the tech.
Oh, research.
What's the health on the enemy infantry?
Troops are coming down. You know this is the Iron Guard core, right? It's upgrading.
Yeah. Oh.
Cannon.
So yeah, versus echelons, I do think that
Whoa.
the rooks are the
They did not
best
strike
option.
right.
Where is there some infantry so I can see their health crying out loud?
Wow. What's going on here?
Everything. Looks like.
Everything is going on here. I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Down, Delta
Hunter
down.
has managed to sneak in behind.
Good
the-
move by Mighty Toast there, sneaking in. Again, this is another aspect of the ace. You can actually jump up that ledge. You haven't got to come up the stairs.
Shields.
Wave.
It's kind of
There's more ways you can get around than that.
Trooper is going up. It's not looking good for them.
Ooh,
Oof, Eagle
very
Focus,
dangerous.
that's a bad idea.
If Eagle had actually... Oh, still down anyway, but... If Eagle had actually jumped up there, he would have been done.
Slam, and there goes Eagle.
So yeah, like... Tell me any other GSF battlesuit, and matter of fact, any other battlesuit that can traverse this area of the map the way the ace does.
Those are
And it's
hacking it.
gone.
Amazing
Any
flavor.
other like battlesuit in the entire game which is able to
Oh,
take
and
advantage of the way this terrain is laid out. It just
And
isn't.
we got it B.
And that's at the same time as being the fastest battlesuit, as having access to scouting and like distraction options with the drones. You know,
Oh,
it's
the Guardian troops, of course.
the ace is again the de facto best battlesuit. It's just not as oppressively overpowered as it was. It just is functionally
Then Iron
the best
Guard
option.
coming out.
EDPA is getting real busy with B. And remember, these are not their reinforcements, yeah? They actually manually build this.
Yeah. Also, tech coming out.
In the meantime, I think
Oh, okay.
the big
are
mistake
already
here
out.
is that to take B,
Doing the Conga line.
They're now
EDPA has given up the rest of the map.
They're
Like
Conga line
few
has
going.
been
I
gained.
think not. They're not all going.
Satan has
to-
all of those
I
munition
think they're
points,
all going to.
and C is open.
Right now,
Yes,
it's using
also
the Mazer
going
to
to
burn
fall
out
to
the
sea.
Guardian Trooper.
Is Mazer good versus Guardian Trooper? No, not really. MRPG is probably the best bet. You stagger it with the bomblets, for instance.
Delta gets schmecked.
Oof.
Deleted.
Portal got destroyed here now.
Damn.
Venom
Venom
running away.
needs to fall back.
Really rough fight. I'm not even sure Venom can get away from that.
Chasing him.
Unguard Claw's coming in
I
now,
think it's
but
the
a
right
little bit
lead.
too late.
Like, Venom is such a powerful character.
In the meantime, I am off in the southeast corner. I am killing off the one phalanx that has been left down there to hold all of C by itself.
Demolished.
So that
Also,
massive
it's
assault
happening at
taking
C,
over B
Fossil
has
is
happened.
taking C.
But I'm about to take it. There's nothing there stopping me.
Oh no!
This is a
not good.
huge mistake by H-Bomb.
And you got cost now guarding here. Looks like GSF will be barred from entering C now.
Like-
They have 4 Iron Guards standing here now. I don't know how they're splitting.
Leaving
Those are
that
trying.
open, like not securing this at all,
What are they gonna do against this? I mean, if
huge
Fossil
mistake.
has,
And I realise they've not got the
Fossil is not
resources.
an Aegis.
They've got the power
Fossil
though.
has Aegis.
Like 1 point defense down here would have prevented me getting in here like this.
Fossil now using the shockwave trying to do something with it.
And now I'm just delaying.
So at this point, Dozer should hack the point again if he
They need
gets
to
the
back
angle.
off. Yeah, they need to back off, take out the cause, and then surround Fossil. Yeah.
Oh, they picked that point yet. Fossil needs to
Yeah. All the cause are down.
actively try to engage Hunter or Dozer because he's now going to get. Oh!
Again, mobility of Ace is the best option.
Okay,
Oh,
so
I cannot. I'm just gonna miss that fight now. Anything's going on. I'm kind of invested in this fight, although there's like a bigger fight going on there. They're trying to take down Fossil.
Oh! Yeah, but he cannot regen shields.
Yeah, he's down. He's down.
Dozer
He's taking
takes him
Hunter
out.
up.
Yeah.
Yep, he's got
Needs
Hunter
to
up.
make a. Oof. But what I see is look at the.
So it's important to understand right now.
From X-Run.
For us, the longer the game goes on, the more the advantages with GSF.
That's a lot.
So
16,000,
every time we're
but
able to
it's
tick
good.
down
We
points,
haven't got
every time we're
EMP
able to keep the
researchers.
pressure
Now
on them
EMP
is
research
beneficial
very
to us.
dangerous. They could EMP this and then just,
Also, that is actually a good point, yeah. EMP does shut down everything substantial covering that point.
Is it flying now? He's got pulled back. Okay. Here they come.
Oh, down that course. Two
EMP's
counts.
down.
Anchor.
That didn't seem like the best EMP placement, but it does seem to have worked on everything, but the timing also seems a bit off.
Oh, here comes the Miz. Miz is burning everyone.
Yeah, but you
Oh,
have.
this is burning them down.
Using Mazer as your catch-all. But yeah,
Wow,
that
was
is more than
brutal.
enough.
That was brutal. Look at the Rook's autocannon just trying to destroy the point defense.
They will destroy point defense.
Yeah, sometimes you just need 10k HP.
Butterfly power.
10k HP is a nice way of dealing with pretty much everything.
He's straight away. Dozer is trying to stop that from happening. He's thrown in a Scarab. Scarab's gonna be biting everything around the corner.
Yeah, Scarab is-
For a while. So they cannot cap.
Here is the real issue. So a lot of Axron players aren't necessarily going to run an MRPG or a G12 at all times. That's what I would expect a Mazer can clear a Scarab. I need to check that.
Luck on the right side.
As G's being kept again by Fossil.
Oh, not good.
Well, I mean-
Yeah,
Hunter
no,
has
back
been
capping.
taken down.
The problem with that statement, Jeremy, is that that's for the same faction.
Eagle is now going for the.
So the faction that has the best mobility can also cap VPs from range.
How many branches are they on now? Whoa. Oh, some 2 branches.
Telling officers what to equip.
Oh no, Team Satan has
Giving them information, so requesting a siege, yeah, I can agree with that. But by and large, otherwise you want to just use what's like suitable for you. I actually kept them busy there for ages, which gave us a triple cap for a while. Like that was actually quite a drawn out fight down there.
Iron Guard, Iron Guard.
But due to a lack of security on C, I've been allowed to go down there and cap that
I feel like they could
twice.
still drive an IV down here and clear all of this out. The problem is the
Or
IV is
just-
that you don't want them to. You don't
Yeah.
want them to deal with players, right?
I agree. The mobility is good in all situations.
Just smoke grenade and incendiary shotgun.
Again, it's why I rate the aces better than the exploit. The exploit's still great. It's good.
There's nothing here that could fight the IV.
But it's got more specific utility scenarios to be used in, whereas the ace is just like,
Decap it with your...
why would I not take this? Like, unless there is
Oh,
something
yeah, okay.
specific you need. So,
And,
like, I need a siege to repair this M33. I need,
Those
They
connected.
can't do anything with B.
is there a situation in which you need an assault?
We'll say
Not really. I do like the feel of the assault at this point, but it's just not got the kind of practical applications that the others have. It just doesn't. As I've said before, if at this point I would look at turning the airburst shot into a more of a AT round, so it's got that utility for being able to damage mules, reactors, and vehicles. But do you really want to go in that direction? Is the question. It's a very big.
You just teleport.
Nick Phillips says the part of cloud. Yeah, man, it is.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't change the multi-missile barrage at all because it's probably the coolest thing about the assault suit. If it lost that, it would be just like, no, what are you doing? Oof, Anchor can get away there. Oh yeah, the Iron Guard shot him down. I was just thinking, I ain't got the aim to shoot that guy. I've not shot an ace out of the sky before.
Right now, reinforcements out yet? Not yet.
Yeah. They're going out, they're moving out, but this is like they need to be quick.
I agree, it does have that, but it isn't always reliable. And I think that asking to like find a way where it's going to reliably hit the target you fire it at, I mean, you could say, oh well, we're going to just have it use the armor penetrating aspect, so it's going to ignore cover and just go straight through an airburst. I mean, you could do that, so it's just reliable damage. Hell, I mean, essentially that would be making the assault suit be the GSF equivalent to the shockwave, but in battle suit. But I don't know if that's necessarily the direction you want to go.
No, he didn't need to get Dozer. Dozer needs to go up and uncap it. Is Dozer here?
Yeah.
But I mean, again, for me, it's looking at the utility.
No, Dozer's at sea.
Ace is able to get around fastest. Exploit is able to capture points at range and give area denial. Siege is able to support the GSF late game. No ability is always reliable. I've never seen a exploit hack fail to hack a VP. Just saying. I've not seen that. Also, I've never seen a ace jump or ace drones not do their job. You can get shot at. But again, like, there's a lot more situations where that works. Like I say, I would rather make the Assault Vanguard have, like, an AT rocket, essentially. So then it's able to bring more late game damage. It's able to deal with... Oof.
But C at the same time, C is being pushed.
So yeah, the M33 comes in here, and we've got a serious push coming in at A, threatening our entire economy. So yeah, H-Bomb has learnt from his initial mistake. Now you've got a Phalanx and 2 PDs here.
This is my job. I signed up for this and only this, and I will take you down if you try to catch.
Okay, I would pay like money to see Dozer uncap B right now with his exploit.
Yeah, they're now coming to do it. They're going for B now. Their team. I mean, Team Satan is.
So again, like, the base M33 is fine.
They're everywhere now.
The M33 they have here is perfectly okay because it's got limitations. It is just the armored one is the egregiously powerful version. Oof. Yeah, that entire attempt on B is shut down between EMP and Venom just trying to come in here and be like, nah, my house.
I think it's a big mistake to go to B.
Yeah, this is a bad call.
Meanwhile, that Omicron getting three hits on them 33.
That's what I think. What do you think?
Jesus. I'm over helping at B. I believe I'm now circling around to A to try and help.
A side just going to fall.
Team Satan needs to crack to win this game. Team Satan needs to crack C, but for EDPA to win it, they need to focus more on C because Team A seems to be good. Venom just took down Dozer.
Important fight to take for.
C's now going to fall. C's going to fall.
Again, so all of this on C right now is tar pitting. And you've got to consider how much it cost EDPA not having this tar pit here before.
Yeah, the two officers. It's oh wait, you have two turrets. Yeah, that's not going to work.
So it's important to keep in mind, instead of it being I just walk in here by myself and take this whole thing, instead it's requiring two officers and the commander support to take this, right? And it's still going to take time. Oh, they given up on it? Yeah, they gave up on it. So, yeah.
And now there's pressure on B again. But there is.
And what am I doing? I think I am trying to clear off the M33. Is the M33 gone? No, it's still up. Still up. I think it pulled it back. Here are some lovely MRPG fun balls, specially designed for removal of elite marines.
We're gonna see how they do this. Foreseen is slowly cracking A.
There's
a Guardian trooper there though. That's
oh, this is. They need to uncap the B. Guard troopers.
Phalanx.
The field support.
You can EMP it. Guardian trooper. What are you gonna do with Phalanx?
The Phalanx.
Why is the G
it's just there. If the Phalanx goes down, this is it.
Oh, the scouts. The last man. The last person. And the gun.
What's the scout doing? What? What am I doing? No, seriously, what the hell am I doing right now?
Scouts finally took down the last man.
What am I doing?
That was amazing.
No, seriously, what the hell am I doing right now?
Yeah, this is it. This is it. This is super close. Let's take a look at C. How's C holding up?
Oh dear.
They have a very, very small window now. They have a small
Anyone want to know what I was doing?
They have probably 1 or 2 more pushes. However, their tier 2 reinforcement is coming in now. We're going to be seeing a lot more stronger pressure over here.
Some silly bugger, possibly me, may have gone and grabbed a credit point instead of actually helping with the fight.
It's almost never been
Maybe. That sounds like it'd be a really stupid thing to do in that situation.
Gilbert passive against it.
He
He just like learned.
He adapted.
Oh, Venom going down. Oh, Venom healing, of course. Yeah, he is being berserk.
Oops.
Ooh, but I don't like the idea of holding C and B, C and A. That's just.
I like the idea of holding C
so
and A
far apart.
because C is easily defendable. For me, I think for South C is easily defendable, and A is easily. It's easy to assault A. Like I know it's very hard to defend from here because you can't really see what's coming from here, but you can capture and then hold back and then wait for them to come, and it's easy to assault. Oh.
Look, I'm going to go with the argument that I thought that Muggis and Lakrits had that in the bag and they didn't need me there, and they let me down. That's going to be my argument for that fuck up. Oof. Yeah, and then we have to retreat because there's no way we can take on all of that and M33s.
Oh no! It just went down.
One more shell and boat go down. Sorry, that's cats fighting outside my window.
They're pushing B. They're pushing B now. They're busy. They're pushing B.
No, there's no way. I mean, I know Toast is good, but he's not that good. He's not going to be able to push for all that.
Yeah, I thought the cat was my outside. The cat is excited. Oh my god, this is
Say hello to PD spam.
Engineers to the back, engineers to the back. Oh, I was that drop.
This is the comeback from EDPA that we were seeing. Will Team Satan be able to hold this advantage?
Do I get him back up, or am I dumb? Yeah, we do get Delta back up. Good, good.
The tank is reversing.
Feels like the tank's a bit too passive, but it's probably the right move, just because it's so awkward to actually get in there. Also, the benefit is that. Oh, nice one. Yeah, that Omicron doing work.
over, but he's repacked this into the anti-tank mode. So, oh no.
Omicron doing work.
But the tank.
So the Omicron's cleared out the point defenses, and the Phalanx isn't in quite the right position to counter it.
It has one job to stop them from getting C. But Delta and Eagle all have health.
So Delta and Eagle now have the opportunity to hit C. Yes, I remember this. So basically, everyone else all in on C, and my job was to make it seem like we still gave a toss about A.
They're zapping each other now. He's down.
He's down.
I don't recommend going to the battle with half health. They need to be.
Down.
Oh no.
B.
They
I
need to be
think
not
B is going
super
to be
desperate.
key.
Yeah, B is about
I
to happen.
think B is going to be key.
Yeah, B is chipping off B bit by bit.
So yeah, I'm just keeping Dozer here and the M33. As well as those 2 Guardian Troopers, actually, so... Definitely the right call by Orangepest to throw everyone else down to C.
Oh my god, this could be over. This could be over. What's going
So yeah,
on?
this Omicron did serious work.
Oh, Hunter's going for me. Oh my god, this is not happening.
Micro.
This is it. This is
Good work by Toast here. Finding that gap.
Oh,
Ooh, didn't manage to uncap it though.
You know why the Rook took out the cannon? Because of this ace drone. Because they only take out the cannon after more than 3 times. Oh, he just went down. Team 7 might be coming back from this down. The point is now picking on EDPA. EDPA needs to clear this off. Yeah.
Again, it's why I praise Orange so much, is he's so tactically aware. He is so on point, and he can then act as an officer. As,
Go for
yeah.
it. Bioinjector, go for this point and hack it from here and then run away. He needs to buy time.
So yeah, at this point we've given up on A. We've distracted them at A as long as we were going to. And it's now all hands on C and B. And as far as defensibility goes, that's really your best option. Because it's so quick to get between the 2 points, if we were forced to, we could relocate over to C. But really we will be focused on B because it's the most defensible.
They're attacking. No, he's too late.
Oh my god, are you hacking it?
No, it's too late.
GG. 3-2 to Satan.
Champion of Eximius Season 1 Open Championship Europe region. We have a new throne.
So again, MVP for the finals, hands down, is Orangepest. For EDPA, I'd probably say their best is Mighty Toast. He is, again, tactically aware, consistently where he needs to be, supports his team, finds those opportunities. They had an exploit there. The problem was they couldn't get the cap. So the hack opportunity was blocked because there's a rook in the way. I believe China also said after the match he'd actually stood in the way as well. So it was blocking the hack. So, again, incredibly deadly end to the game. A lot of kills across the board. Thunder still being the top fragger, though, as you would expect. Really, to understand the difference between Thunder and China is relative skill. There's similarity there. What I would give China, though, is he is much more tactically aware. So he is more focused on cleaning up AI units. He's more interested in map control. Whereas Thunder is full on, where is an officer, I will kill them. Fortunately, he's managed to curb that from when he originally joined the game, because the way you used to beat Thunder was to just play the objectives, because he would literally clear all the officers off a point and not cap a VP. Which is insanity. Let this play out while there we go. You know, and it's still an aspect where Thunder's main focus is on eliminating officers, and it's really for people like Toast to fill in the gaps and still support him. I mean, if that's true, Orange, then that's quite worrying, because like it would make communication between H-Bomb, Toast, and the rest of the team very difficult. And it's another issue, is that H-Bomb is the commander, but Mighty Toast is the brains behind the operation. That kind of muddies the focus of the team. So, if H-Bomb is following what Mighty Toast says to do tactically, it's kind of... Alright, so H-Bomb is at least giving the call-outs and saying where things are, but I still expect that it's Toast's like call on where they actually go. You've got to understand, looking at Satan, is that the person making the calls, saying where to focus, is Orange. And everyone else is following that plan. Which means that Orange is more of a position that if he asks or tells someone to go somewhere, they're going to go there. It's going to get done. And he can then provide them with units to make it happen. Also true, yeah. Again, the big one on I'd probably say the biggest mistakes I made, so... Game 1, I feel like I was too passive, too busy on the far flank. We got away with it because Thunder still chased me over there and just went full, you know, tunnel vision. But it shouldn't have happened. They should really have focused more on the southeast of the map and had a lot more impact there on our economy. Game 3, my big mistake was the fact that I thought, oh, we'll just play it like Game 1 and win again. That's not how this game works. That's not how a serious series of games works. You need to be far more aware of the fact you're up against thinking opponents who are going to try to outplay you and not make the same mistakes they did before. And then lastly, in that Game 5, the final, focusing on capturing a credit node, while that is helping Orange produce units, it's not important. Getting the VP was important. Supporting my 2 officer teammates was more important. You know, and I should have been more aware of that. I should have been more on board with, like, we need to secure A. We need to secure A before securing other assets. It would also help if I can aim, but, you know, I can only do so much. I'm an old fossil, you know?